Chapter 717. Longevity Sword, don't you dare! You talk too much! Rumble. The nights in the catacombs were always pitch black. However, on this night, outside Monster Sunflower City, dazzling golden lights shone. Outside the city, Fan Ping concealed his aura and hid in the Jiao's forest. When Jiao was around, it planted trees everywhere and expanded, connecting Sky Gate City and Monster Sunflower City. Now that Jiao was gone, the Jiao's forest was no longer a threat. Most of the planted trees had been uprooted, but there were still some left in Monster Sunflower City. Fan Ping, hiding in the Jiao's forest, waited silently. Monster Sunflower had not attacked yet. It was not his chance to enter the city. Once Monster Sunflower attacked, he could enter the city. Glancing at his stats, Fan Ping calculated how long he could use them. Wealth, 48 million points. Vitality, 64,000 calories, 64,280 calories. Mentality, 3,210 Hz, 3,365 Hz. Destruction power, 24 yuan, 24 yuan. Bones honed, 206 bones, 100%. Storage space, 1,000 cubic meters, plus energy shield. 1 point/minute, plus aura simulation, 10 points/minute, plus. His wealth was 7 million more than when he came out of closed-door cultivation. This was from the armor that Fang Tao had given him. Fan Ping asked old Zhang to give it to him, and old Zhang did not refuse. It was considered Fan Ping's own gain. 7 million, that was 70 billion. It was not comparable to a rank 9 divine weapon's 100 billion. However, even the best rank 8 divine weapon was only worth about 50 billion. Divine armors were indeed more valuable than divine weapons. Simulating aura simulation costs about 15,000 points a day. Fortunately, the consumption is not high. It's bearable. Fan Ping could stay in the catacombs for 10 years if he did not use up his aura simulation. However, he was alone. 2 people would shorten the time by 10 times. 3 people would not be able to stay for long. This was also the reason why Fan Ping did not bring anyone else. He did not have enough wealth and could not spend it casually. Bringing old Wang and the others would not help much, and they would be easily exposed. Old Man Li is really strong. Fan Ping thought about this while watching the battle. In midair, Old Man Li's body shone brightly, his sword aura soaring. After a while, Old Man Li slashed 4 or 5 times, and each slash tore through the air. In the blink of an eye, the golden body on Monster Sunflower City's lord had several large holes. The lord of Monster Sunflower City was no match for Old Man Li. Even though he had stepped into the Quintessence Dao, it hadn't been long since he had stepped into it. At most, he was comparable to Wu Quishan in the previous battle. Although he also had a rank 9 divine weapon in his hands, he was currently being suppressed by Old Man Li. Over here, Old Man Li was suppressing Monster Sunflower City's lord. On the other side, Qin Fengqing and the others didn't get too close to the city. Instead, they kept releasing their auras to provoke the city. Before Yao Kui came out, they didn't dare to attack the city. If they were attacked by Yao Kui, they wouldn't be able to hold on. A bunch of trash. Do you dare to come and kill me? That good-for-nothing from last time was still a rank 8. In the end, he had to rely on betraying his partner to escape. Fan Ping didn't manage to kill you last time, but this time, you won't be able to escape. His name is Quara, right? What a piece of trash. Come out, I'm just an early-stage rank 7, I can still kill you. Outside the city, Qin Fengqing cursed incessantly. During the battle at Skygate City, 2 rank 8 powerhouses from Monster Sunflower City went to help. In the end, one of them escaped. Before he left, he attacked the other rank 8, and that was how he escaped. After the battle, Elder Fan and the others had also publicized this matter in Monster Sunflower City. However, the person was already dead. Now that Quara was alive, if the city lord of Monster Sunflower City didn't say anything, no one else would dare to question Venerable Quara. Today, however, Qin Fengqing was cursing loudly. In the city, 2 rank 8 golden body powerhouses and 7 rank 7 martial artists were all using flight step. There was also one who was guarding the underground mineral vein. The faces of the 9 people were filled with anger. One of the golden body powerhouses even looked livid. Bastard! Quara cursed under his breath. Because of this matter, he had already been reprimanded by the city lord of Monster Sunflower City a few times. However, considering that he was a rank 8 and that the other party was already dead people were worthless in the catacombs. Therefore, other than the Venerable's family who was hostile to him, even if the others knew that he had done this, they dared not say anything. Now, however, the resurrected martial artist opposite him had reopened his scars. Moreover, he was using the catacombs language. Despicable! Although his colleagues beside him did not say anything, Quara could feel that something was different. Now that a great battle had broken out, these people would not fight with him. Instead, they would stay far away from him, worried that he would come again. Even Quara wanted to attack immediately and kill the bastard opposite him. However, the king had not given the order, so he dared not act rashly. At this moment, he could only listen to the other party's curses. Gudluo did not speak. Next to him, another rank 8 powerhouse said, Hope City has 2 venerables and 5 commander-level martial artists. If they're really going to fight, Gudluo, you keep that middle-stage venerable occupied. Hearing that, Quara sneered in his heart. Middle-stage venerable martial artists were bandits at the border. Early-stage venerable martial artists were Lupolu. Did this guy really think that he was stupid to leave the strongest to him? However, Quara agreed quickly and said, Okay. Since this guy wanted to deal with the others, then let him be. Quara had already seen a few familiar faces among the 5 commander-level powerhouses. Tang Feng, Lu Fengru, Li Han Song, Huang Jing. These few people, including the guy who scolded him, were all familiar faces. During the battle in Monsterwood City, these people had all held divine weapons and held them back, including Lu Polu. The former commander level, now a venerable, had also held a divine weapon that day. He might not be weaker than a middle-stage venerable martial artist. As for Ko Bianjiang, he was also familiar with him. Both parties had fought a few times. Although he was a middle-stage rank 8, he did not have a divine weapon. Ko Bianjiang did not have a divine weapon, so it was not that difficult to deal with him. Seeing that Quara agreed readily, the others did not say anything. Quara sneered again in his heart. It was really embarrassing for him to be the only one humiliated. However, if these guys were to suffer a little, then he would not be the only one humiliated. As for casualties, it would not be that easy. The king was still here, and the tutelary had not made a move. The other party only had a longevity swordsman. It would not be easy to kill them. While he was thinking, in midair, Monster Sunflower City's governor roared, Sunflower Guardian, attack! Monster Sunflower City's governor was very aggrieved. Indeed, he was not a match. In front of the 2 royal court highnesses, he was suppressed by the longevity swordsman. In front of the city people, he was suppressed and beaten. His dignity was swept away. Just now, he was prepared to fight alone, at least to maintain some dignity as a king. Even if the foreign king was not as good as the restricted area king, he could not be too humiliated. However, the longevity swordsman was stronger. If this went on, it would be even more humiliating. Useless! Old Manly laughed loudly. Then, a longsword pierced through the air, slashing at his head. The void rift appeared again. The sword's aftershock penetrated the city directly, and the city walls collapsed. At this time, inside the city, a huge sunflower soared into the sky, charging toward Old Manly. Qin Feng Qing and the others retreated, waiting for Old Manly to fight with them, holding them back to prevent these people from getting involved in their battle. 1 man and 1 demon met. As soon as they met, Monster Sunflower City's governor roared, and the materialized object appeared. It was also a monster sunflower. The materialized object instantly merged with Monster Sunflower, and Monster Sunflower's aura soared. Child's play! Old Manly sneered. This was the auxiliary cultivation method of the foreign city governors of Monster Plant King Court and Monster Life King Court. They cultivated together with the monster plants and monsters. When both parties cooperated, the materialized object would merge into the monster's body, making the monster stronger. However, this kind of combat method was only suitable when there were fewer opponents. If it was 2 against 2 now, Monster Sunflower City's governor would be slightly weaker if he did this, and he would be easily killed. In the blink of an eye, 2 men and 1 demon were entangled together. Old Man Lee's sword's aura soared into the sky. The aftershock did not even consider, spreading in all directions. On the other side, when Qin Feng Qing and the others saw Old Man Lee holding back 2 rank 9s, they did not say a word. One by one, they took out their divine weapons and charged toward the people in the city. Those powerhouses did not dare to fight in the city. Monster Sunflower City's governor roared, "Get out of this city and fight!" As soon as he said that, Monster Sunflower City's powerhouses flew out of the city, fighting with Li Hansong and the others. In the forest, Fang Ping felt a little regretful. Too bad I can't make a move now. Otherwise, in this situation, if he used his golden house to cover them, these 2 rank 8s and 7 rank 7s would not be able to escape. Forget it. They're all weaklings. It doesn't matter if I kill them now or not. The 2 rank 8s were both middle stage rank 8. They had just entered rank 8 third refinement, similar to Fang Ping. Their strength control was also average, not as good as Fang Ping's now. Even if they were to fight, these 2 were not Fang Ping's match. If they were not Fang Ping's match, then they were not a threat to him. As for Ko Bianjiang and the others, they were not a threat either. Lu Polo was holding a rank 9 divine weapon. Ironhead was also wearing a divine armor. It did not matter if 2 rank 7s were missing. Old Huang was also a peak rank 7 martial artist. Monster Sunflower City's manpower was not enough. However, Fang Ping still frowned slightly. In the city, there seemed to be many high-ranked martial artists' auras. Now that he was outside the city, he could feel it more clearly. Under the aura fluctuations, he could feel it. There are actually 2 rank 8s and 5 rank 7s. Fang Ping frowned. If that was the case, it would be a little troublesome. Old Man Lee and the rest probably felt it too. However, these people seemed to have some concerns and did not show up. If that was the case, Old Man Lee and the rest did not retreat. If these people really wanted to attack, it would not be too late to retreat then. Where did so many powerhouses come from? Could it be people from the restricted area? Other than people from the restricted area, people from other cities would not mobilize so many powerhouses to support Monster Sunflower City. Not to mention that this ambush was decided at the last minute. Whatever, I'll take advantage of the big battle and enter the city first. At this moment, the powerhouses were fighting outside the city. Old Man Lee dragged the 2 rank 9s, fighting further and further away. Luring these rank 9s away also made things easier for Fang Ping. Under the night sky, Fang Ping's figure moved. He did not choose to dig a hole. Instead, he made a detour and went straight to the other side of the city wall. The current him was extremely fast. Rank 9s might still be able to sense some movement if he hid his aura, but others could not. Digging a hole to enter the city was a thing of the past. This time, he was not interested in the mineral vein. Otherwise, he could directly enter and kill the rank 7 guarding the city. Then, Fang Ping could dig away a large portion of the mineral vein. In the residence of the city lord, the youth was still pacing back and forth. Fang Ping sensed 2 rank 8s and 5 rank 7s. They were indeed people from the restricted area. The youth and Feng Niexing were both rank 7s. There were also 2 rank 8s and 3 rank 7s escorting them here. This time, there were no rank 9 powerhouses escorting them. On Feng Niexing's side, most of the god generals under King Feng's command had been killed. Now there were only 3 of them left. They all had important matters to attend to and could not escort them. As for the youth, although the current Monster Plants King Court's lord still led the Monster Plants King Court in name, it was not that easy for him to order a rank 9 around. It was still possible for the Lord to order them around. However, it was extremely difficult for his son to be escorted by a rank 9 when he went out to be a messenger. This time, there were only 2 rank 8 powerhouses escorting them into the outskirts. Feng Mieshing looked at the youth pacing back and forth. He raised his head and looked at the sky, saying somewhat irritably, "Your Highness, we have the upper hand. It seems like a battle between god generals has erupted over at Monster Phoenix City. MCMAU's Snake King should be occupied. There's no danger." The youth frowned. "I'm not afraid of anything. However, there are frequent battles here. It's better to leave as soon as possible. This time, we'll escort Monster Sunflower City and the other cities' geniuses back to the King's Court immediately. The personnel from the other cities have been confirmed. Monster Sunflower City is the last stop. When we're done here, we can naturally return to the King's Court." Feng Mieshing continued, "I hope that there will be a few true geniuses among the people we're escorting this time." At this point, Feng Mieshing frowned. Not many of these so-called geniuses from the outskirts can enter the commander level. If we don't produce a few more commander-level geniuses this time, we'll be looked down upon again. The youth said casually, "It's all Fang Ping's fault. This B***** slaughtered so many genius martial artists in the battleground of the King's Court. Otherwise, why would he?" "Fang Ping." Feng Mieshing's face turned ashen when he said Fang Ping's name. Not only was he targeting Fang Ping, but he was also targeting the youth. He said with an ugly expression, "Li, are you blaming me?" The youth seemed to be stunned for a moment. Then, he said unhappily, "Feng Mieshing, I don't think so. I just hate Fang Ping. He killed a lot of geniuses. What does it have to do with you?" "Humph!" Feng Mieshing let out a soft humph. Earlier, he had called him Your Highness. Now, he was too lazy to be polite and called him by his name. This guy never thought before he spoke. Was he trying to embarrass him by mentioning Fang Ping now? As the two of them were talking, a rank 8 powerhouse beside them suddenly turned his head to look. His gaze was slightly suspicious. Just now, there seemed to be some movement in the backyard of the city lord's mansion. However, the city was very chaotic now. The guards in the backyard of the city lord's mansion were also on high alert. It was not strange for there to be some movement. In the backyard, Fang Ping had already snuck in. He felt a little regretful. Feng Mieshing. He sensed Feng Mieshing's aura. What a pity! The other party was with a few rank 8s. Otherwise, it would be better if he killed Feng Mieshing and replaced him. However, these people might not split up now. If he killed them by force, he would be exposed. If he dragged this on, when Old Man Li and the rest left and the rank 9s returned, he would not have a chance anymore. "Forget it, I'll spare your life. Feng Mieshing is an idiot. He's a dead man. It's fine if I don't kill him. Sooner or later, he'll be my scapegoat." Fang Ping felt that it was not a bad idea to not kill Feng Mieshing. He could not get too close to the true king. Feng Mieshing was the Maple King's biological grandson. If he killed him, he might come into contact with the Maple King. It would be easy to be exposed. People from the outer realms were still the best. Outsiders did not understand the restricted area. Even if they went in and did something a little out of line, it would not be surprising. However, people from the restricted area like Feng Mieshing were familiar with the place. They were familiar with many people in the restricted area. If they did something unusual, they would be discovered easily. "I'll replace the outsiders. This is the first time I've entered the restricted area. I should at least give myself some basic information." Fang Ping had a plan in his mind. He began to search. After a while, in the Golden House, Fang Ping looked at the youth in front of him who was still a little dazed. He smiled and said, "Sit. You are." The youth was also a rank 6 martial artist. However, he was extremely dazed at this moment. He was still in the house just now. How did he suddenly appear in the darkness? In the Golden House, Fang Ping covered the original appearance of the house, leaving only darkness. Upon seeing this, he smiled and said, Sit down and talk. I'm under Lord Hui King. This time, Lord Feng King sent Prince Feng to Monster Sunflower City. King Hui was worried and sent me to investigate. There are some things that you're better off not knowing. I've already said this. If you ask again, you won't be able to escape death. Now, tell me everything about Prince Feng coming to Monster Sunflower City. Don't leave out any of his actions. The youth's face was full of fear. A venerable under King Hui King's command. Monster Sunflower City and King Hui King had a dirty relationship. Last time, King Hui King wanted Monster Sunflower City's city lord to help in the battle against Monster Wood City. In the end, Monster Sunflower City's city lord refused and did not send anyone to help. King Hui King was furious. Moreover, it involved a dispute between true kings. The youth was frightened and uneasy. He said nervously, "Sir, then this is my indestructible god space. Don't worry. The two god generals have already left. No one will find out. The two venerables that Prince Feng brought are no match for me." Fang Ping smiled. His expression turned cold. "All right, don't waste time. Tell me quickly." "I don't have time to waste with you." The youth was shocked. Indestructible god space? King Hui King had such a powerhouse under his command. The so-called indestructible god space was a materialized object. However, it was a materialized object that contained space. Such a materialized object was extremely rare. The youth did not know if Fang Ping's identity was real or fake, but it was a fact that he was very strong. In addition, he was only asking about Feng Miexing's situation. The youth hesitated and did not dare to ask Fang Ping to produce an item to prove his identity. There was no need for that. It was almost impossible to ask such a powerhouse under King Hui King to prove his identity. At this moment, the youth was worried that Fang Ping would silence him. He was not in a hurry to talk about Feng Miexing. Instead, he quickly said, "My name is Kui Ming. My father is Venerable Kui Luo. He leads the Royal City Imperial Guards. Sir, if anything happens to me, my father will definitely find out. Sir, since you've entered the 7th Southern Territory, there will be records of the passage between the 7th Southern Territory and Mount Royal Sea. I dare not get involved in anything between the true kings. I only hope that after you know everything you can spare my life. Sir, don't worry. I dare not speak nonsense about what happened to Prince Feng. Once I expose him, I will also be implicated and my father will be implicated. I won't dare to speak nonsense about something that could cost my life." Fang Ping laughed. "You're a smart man. So you're Venerable Kui Luo's son. Never mind. Venerable Kui Luo went to battle last time. He was also doing Lord King Hui King a favor. There's no harm in sparing your life." The youth was overjoyed when he heard that. His father had participated in the Battle of Monster Wood City last time and almost died. Now it seemed that it was not without its benefits. The Venerable under King Hui King also knew about this. Perhaps he could take the opportunity to profit? His father was being ostracized now because of the repercussions of the previous battle. Should he ask this Venerable to pass on the message that his father was also a rank 8 Venerable powerhouse? Perhaps he could rely on King Hui King. The youth did not dare delay as he thought about this. Because he had the intention to rely on King Hui King, he did not leave out a single detail when he talked about Feng Miexing. Fang Ping listened attentively and asked questions frequently. As for whether this fellow was speaking the truth or not, he would find out later when he asked someone. However, Old Manly still had to make this place a little more chaotic. Otherwise, it would be hard to explain if someone was missing. I hope Old Manly is reliable. Fang Ping prayed in his heart, and began to seriously memorize everything the youth said. Please remember the domain name of this book, 9 Heavens Divine Emperor Mobile Version. Chapter 718. Kui Ming, Kui Luo's son, middle stage rank 6. His father, Kui Luo, was the commander-in-chief of Monster Sunflower City's Royal City's Imperial Guards. In Monster Sunflower City, other than the 2 rank 9 powerhouses, Koiluo was the most trusted subordinate of the monster Sunflower City's castellan. After all, to be in charge of the royal city's imperial guards was to protect the royal city and the house of Castellan. It could be seen from Kui Ming living in the house of Castellan. Koiluo did not have his own house, but he had his own courtyard in the backyard of the house of Castellan. Fang Ping entered Koiluo's house. This time, Feng Miexing and Li represented the monster plant's royal court, coming to the outer area to select genius martial artists to enter the restricted area. Li! Fang Ping had some thoughts in his mind. Monster plant's royal court's crown prince. The son of the Lord King that even old Zhang valued. A cowardly, arrogant, and ignorant fellow in Kui Ming's words. Kui Ming did not say it clearly, but the meaning behind his words was that he looked down on Li. After listening for a while, Fang Ping muttered, "Cowardly? Arrogant and conceited?" He had heard from old Zhang and old Manly that when the war broke out in the Magic City catacombs, Li Yi and Feng Miexing overestimated themselves and brought people to kill old Manly. In the end, they were chased by old Manly until they pissed their pants. Is he really arrogant and cowardly? Fang Ping was suspicious. There were people like this, and there were many of them. There was no lack of such people in the history books. Many of the dynasty's crown princes were useless. This was very common. There was no shortage of people who were extremely shrewd. Endure, lie low, wait for the right time. What kind of person was Li? Forget it. Ignore him. Just be careful. In the martial arts world, strength was the most important, and strategy was secondary. Li Yi was only rank 7. He had not reached that stage yet. A desperate old Zhang who was scheming and plotting was scary. After asking for a while, Fang Ping suddenly said, "What combat skills are you good at? Show me." Kui Ming's eyes revealed a hint of suspicion. Combat skills? Why was he asking about combat skills? Fang Ping frowned. Just use them. Did your father Koiluo teach you combat skills? If it is, then show it to me. I want to see just how powerful Venerable Sunflower's battle technique is. Combat skills also represent an expert's comprehension of the martial Tao. This sovereign wants to see how far your father is from the divine general realm. With these words, Kui Ming felt much more at ease. Soon, he executed a set of battle techniques. There was a slight difference between the cultivation systems of humans and the catacombs' martial artists, but essentially, they were about the same. Battle techniques were also a form of utilization of power. Humans used vitality force, while catacombs' martial artists used energy force. In the past, Fang Ping might not have been able to tell anything. Now, however, once the sunflower combat technique was unleashed, Fang Ping could sense the general situation in detail. It was a recombination of energy. In terms of strength control and understanding, Kui Ming, a rank 6 martial artist, naturally paled in comparison to Fang Ping. While Kui Ming was executing his combat technique, Fang Ping began to simulate the way Kui Ming combined his strength. Very quickly, a ball of energy appeared in Fang Ping's hand. It looked like a tree root or a whip. Fang Ping unleashed a move. The energy tree whip lashed out with an explosive sound. In the Golden House, it was Fang Ping's materialized object that had a shielding effect. Otherwise, such a loud noise would have been discovered long ago. When Kui Ming saw Fang Ping executing the same move as him, he was slightly dazed. Very quickly, his face filled with reverence, he said hurriedly, "Sir, you have great foresight. I have shown you my incompetence." Fang Ping frowned slightly. "That's it. Although it's not bad, the efficiency in unleashing strength is very low. Is this the only combat technique Venerable Koiluo could create? If that's all, then this sovereign is too disappointed." The strength of a combat technique depended on the effectiveness of one's strength. Control was control. Unleashing was unleashing. Vitality 10,000 calories, control 5,000 calories. Without the combination of combat technique reorganization, 5,000 calories was just 5,000 calories. However, the existence of combat techniques was to unleash the 5,000 calories vitality to greater effect, to carry out amplification. The greater the amplification, the stronger the combat technique. Therefore, powerhouses who created powerful combat techniques had extremely high control of their own strength. They also had a deep understanding of the essence of strength. This combat technique created by Kuei Luo was just average. Seeing this, Kuei Ming hurriedly said, "Sir, this is the outland after all. My father's knowledge is shallow. Naturally, he can't be compared to you, sir. Sir, you've been serving under Sir King Huai. You've seen a lot of things. You've seen a lot of king-level powerhouses. My father has always been under King Kuei's command. He hasn't even left Monster Sunflower City a few times. Naturally, he can't compare to you, sir." Kuei Ming tried to flatter him, but he also gave an explanation in passing. It was inevitable that the knowledge of powerhouses from the outland was not as good as that of the restricted zone powerhouses. There were many rank 9s in the restricted zone. Under a true king's command, there were at least 5 to 6 rank 9s. At most, there were more than 10 rank 9s. In the outland, there were 2 in a city. One of them was a demon. Their cultivation system was different from theirs. In other words, in the outland, there was actually only one rank 9 powerhouse in a city. And this rank 9 was high and mighty, known as a king. Under such circumstances, it was impossible to count on these kings to guide you. Therefore, most of the powerhouses in the outland fumbled on their own. At Kuei Luo's level, under normal circumstances, the city lord would be kind if he did not suppress you. Why would he guide you and let you enter rank 9 to compete with him? Seeing this, Fang Ping did not say anything else. He asked again, "Are you going to participate in the championship tomorrow?" Kuei Ming hurriedly smiled and said, "I was lucky enough to get a place." Fang Ping raised his eyebrows slightly. "Got a place?" Following Kuei Ming's explanation, Fang Ping understood. Shady. The law of the jungle was even more obvious in the catacombs. If the son of a rank 8 powerhouse wanted to enter the restricted zone, naturally it would not be too troublesome. Monster Sunflower City's city lord had children. However, he did not have many descendants. Moreover, for the children of rank 9 powerhouses to enter the restricted zone, it would not be too troublesome. In other words, the children of rank 8 participating in the youth championship were the ones with the greatest background. Kuei Ming had already secured a place. He was just putting on an act. Tomorrow, those geniuses from the outer city and royal city would compete for the places to enter the top 10. On Kuei Ming's side, there were 2 other youths with similar status to him who would participate. There would be a total of 13 people competing for 10 places. At this moment, Kuei Ming still did not know that Lian had promised 2 more places. Previously, it was announced that there were 10 places. 13 people competing for 10 places. Among them, the other geniuses from the outer city and royal city were not all rank 6. There were some rank 5. Among them, 3 would be eliminated. That was why Kuei Ming said that he had secured a place. Because it was almost impossible for them to be eliminated. At this point, Fang Ping continued to ask questions. At this moment, Kuei Ming felt that something was wrong. Fang Ping asked him how he usually interacted with his father, whether he was familiar with King Sunflower, how he addressed him, in the residence of the city lord, who were his acquaintances, his daily life. These did not match what Fang Ping had said before. Previously, Fang Ping said that he wanted to find out information about Feng extermination. Now, however, a venerable powerhouse was so concerned about the life of a rank 6 martial artist. Why was this? Seeing that Kuei Ming seemed puzzled, Fang Ping said in a low voice, "Since you want to enter the restricted zone, enter the royal court, and coincidentally, I ran into you. Kuei Ming, are you willing to join Lord Huai King and work for him?" Kuei Ming was stunned for a moment. Then, he was overjoyed. "I am willing!" "Then your current mission is to enter King Maple's service. At this time, I need to understand everything about you in detail. If I don't understand everything about you, how can I believe that you have the ability to enter King Maple's inner circle? Without the corresponding ability, it's fine if you die, but if you ruin King Huai's plan, your death will not be regretted." Tell me in detail about your situation. Let me see if you are up to the task. Kuei Ming's face showed a hint of struggle. Enter King Maple's inner circle? That was a true king. Fang Ping said again. Don't worry, you are not qualified to come into contact with King Maple. I only want you to follow Feng Extermination. Feng Extermination is a good-for-nothing, but he covets the throne of the royal court. We need to obtain all the information about him. Whether you can hide from Feng Extermination depends on your ability. If you can't even hide from Feng Extermination, you are also a good-for-nothing. Lord Huai King does not need good-for-nothings. If you want to stand out, if you want to go out, if you want to become a city lord in the future, then you need to show your ability. I'm giving you the opportunity. Whether you can grasp it or not depends on you. Kuei Ming no longer cared about Fang Ping's question. King Huai King wanted him to become a spy and enter King Maple's inner circle. This mission was extremely dangerous. However, this was also the only way to enter King Huai King's line of sight. Even his father could not easily come into contact with a true king powerhouse. A rank 8 powerhouse was not weak. Achieving a golden body made them much stronger than a rank 7. However, there was no shortage of powerhouses in the restricted area. There were only so many true kings. Who did not want to come into contact with a true king? Perhaps they could gain a lot and enter Divine General, or even True King. Fan Ping wanted him to show his ability and understand his detailed information. Kuei Ming was no longer surprised. Instead, he felt that Fan Ping was not being perfunctory and was very serious. Otherwise, a rank 8 powerhouse did not need to know these things. He was not an important person. Although his father was also a rank 8, he was only a rank 8 from the outer circle. There was nothing worth Fan Ping's scheming. Next, Kuei Ming began to explain his situation. Agreeing to Fan Ping and becoming a pawn under King Huai King's command to stand out was also what everyone wanted. Otherwise, even if he entered the restricted area, he would still be an insignificant nobody. Clearly, King Maple did not think much of a nobody like him. Not to mention King Maple, people like Feng Extermination were extremely arrogant. These few days he had tried to curry favor with them. In the end, Feng Extermination looked down on him, a martial artist who was only a middle-stage martial general. And now, the opportunity had come. Fan Ping listened while calculating the time, sensing the movements in the outside world. Old Man Li's long howl had sounded 3 times, which meant that he could not hold on any longer. He was fighting against 2 rank 9s who were both powerhouses of the origin path. Although he was strong, he could not hold on for too long. Moreover, if the battle dragged on, powerhouses from other cities would be easily mobilized. After estimating the time, Fan Ping nodded slightly and smiled. Not bad. Although I still don't understand enough, it's enough. Kuei Ming's face lit up with joy, but very quickly, the joy froze. Fan Ping was straightforward. Without hesitation, he destroyed Kuei Ming's mentality. With the ability of a rank 8, it was not difficult to kill a rank 6. After killing this guy, Fan Ping kept the guy's corpse into his space. Fan Ping changed into his clothes and rubbed his cheeks hard. The muscles in his body began to wriggle and his cells began to reorganize. After a while, Fan Ping appeared in the room. In the room, Fan Ping looked at himself in the crystal mirror. Just like Kuei Ming, his short hair grew instantly. The color of his hair changed slightly, and soon, he was no different from Kuei Ming. The aura on his body was also the same as Kuei Ming's. There was no difference. What Kuei Ming said might not be true. I still need to find someone to verify it. Fan Ping was not sure if everything Kuei Ming said was true. This guy might not be able to tell if he had mixed in some lies. He had to find someone to verify it. The backyard of the House of Castellan was still in chaos. A large number of Imperial guards were on high alert, patrolling the backyard. Fan Ping walked out of the room. Very soon, a group of Imperial guards passed by. When they saw Fan Ping, they hurriedly greeted. Young Commander, it's chaotic outside. Young Commander, please don't go out, just in case. Fan Ping nodded slightly. His expression was solemn and grim. With some worry, he lifted his head and looked outside the city, muttering, "I wonder if father is safe." Among the Imperial Guards, the leading general said hurriedly, "The King and Lord Guardian have already defeated Longevity's sword. The Commander-in-Chief has also gained the upper hand. Very soon, he will return victorious. Young Commander, don't worry. I know. I don't need you to talk too much. Stand down." Yes. Although this person was also a rank 6 martial artist, he dared not say much at this moment. He immediately led his men and left. At the same time, outside the city, while Qin Fengqing was killing, he transmitted his voice. "Iron Head! We have to kill our way into the House of Castellan, create some chaos, and kill some people." Li Han Song sent a rank 7 martial artist flying with a punch. He transmitted his voice. "This is a little troublesome. There are still many powerhouses in the House of Castellan. There are even 2 rank 8 martial artists. This is not expected. There's no other way. I have to go. How about you go, and I help you keep an eye on them?" Li Han Song was speechless. "It's also very troublesome if I go, okay?" However, according to Fang Ping's previous plan, he would enter the House of Castellan and look for an opportunity to find a replacement. It would be peaceful if he did not create any chaos. Once again, Fang Ping did not find a replacement. He killed a few more people. He could not possibly let people die for no reason, right? With the sweep of a rank 9 powerhouse's mentality, it would be clear whether there were more or less people in the House of Castellan. If that happened, Fang Ping's plan would be problematic. Kill. Li Han Song did not think any further. With a loud roar, he hugged a rank 7 martial artist. With this hug, Lu Fengru and the rest did not care about the others at all. One after another, they attacked Li Han Song. Big moves erupted. Rumble! With a loud bang, Li Han Song's divine armor flashed with golden light. The rank 7 who was hugged was already smashed into minced meat. Seeing this, Qin Fengqing roared, "Go and rob the House of Castellan. There are sunflower seeds in the House of Castellan. Go! How dare you!" The people of Monster Sunflower City roared. These people had the guts to want to kill their way into the city. In midair, Monster Sunflower City's city lord and Monster Sunflower were suppressingly chongqing. However, Old Man Li roared, "Hand over 1,000 sunflower seeds, and I will retreat now. Otherwise, I will definitely kill you this time. Bastard!" Both Monster Sunflower City's city lord and Monster Sunflower were furious. So that was it. Longevity Sword and the others attacked the city for the sunflower fruits. Monster Sunflower City's city lord was about to explode. Sunflower fruits were ineffective against rank 9 martial artists. They had almost no effect on rank 8 martial artists. However, the effect on middle and rank 7 martial artists was not weak. He did not expect Longevity Sword to come for this. Moreover, he asked for 1,000 seeds right off the bat. Did he really think that there were a lot of sunflower fruits? Old Man Li did not care about this. He roared, "Hand it over or not. If you don't, I will attack the city every day. Elder Ko, Elder Lu, go to the House of Castellan and take the sunflower seeds. There must be some in the House of Castellan." As soon as he finished speaking, he roared, "Those fellows from the restricted area, if you dare to attack, I will kill you. Why don't you just ask Monster Sunflower City to hand over the sunflower seeds, and we will retreat immediately? You have a death wish." Monster Sunflower City's city lord and Monster Sunflower City were enraged. They attacked Li Chongqing one after another. Void energy exploded again and again. Although Old Man Li flew backward, he managed to hold his ground. It was just like when they surrounded and killed the Skygate tree. At their level, they could defeat and suppress their opponents. However, it was extremely difficult to kill them. The House of Castellan. Li cursed softly. He could not help but say, "Why don't we give them some sunflower fruits and ask them to leave?" "Your Highness, you can't. The few bodyguards shook their heads hastily. Feng Yesheng's expression was ugly as well. He said, "No! How can we compromise with a martial artist who has resurrected? If this gets out, it will be a great crime in the royal court. You and I will be no exception," Li said angrily. "But if this goes on, what if Monster Sunflower City can't stop the longevity sword and they invade the city? What should we do? When we leave, who cares how they kill us? Feng Yesheng, do you want to die here?" Feng Yesheng frowned. He said coldly, "It's not that bad yet. I won't attack them anyway." As Li spoke, she looked at the bodyguards beside her and said, "You guys are not allowed to attack them either. Be careful of these fellows luring you away and plotting against me. If they want to snatch the sunflower fruits, then let them. We're only here as guests. We're not here to help Monster Sunflower City defend against a strong enemy. Feng Yesheng, I'm leaving the House of Castellan to hide somewhere else. Are you coming?" Li. Feng Yesheng was furious. Useless. Was he that afraid of death? He was running away before the battle even started. At this moment, the longevity sword was blocked. The ones who came were only a group of rank 7 and 8 martial artists. Moreover, although Monster Sunflower City had lost a commander-level powerhouse, the others were still alive. If they worked together with these people, they would have a chance of killing this group of people. Li was running away. While Li was moving, she said, "There's a saying in the land of rebirth, the son of a rich family does not sit under the eaves. Who are we? Fighting with these people, even if he perished together with them, even if he killed a few people, so what? If we have to fight, we have to fight against the descendants of the true monarchs. Those are the ones who are worth risking our lives for. Feng Yesheng, if you're willing, you can do it." "I'm leaving," Feng Yesheng said with a smile. "You can do it if you want." "I'm leaving." As soon as he said that, Feng Extermination's will to fight instantly dissipated. Yes. Who were they? The descendant of the true king, the son of the king lord. If he wanted to kill someone, he would kill the descendants of the true kings. If he wanted to kill someone, he would kill a peerless prodigy martial artist like Fang Ping. If he wanted to kill someone, he had to kill someone like Li Changxing. Were the others worth killing? If something were to happen in the outer realms, then the gains would not make up for the losses. For some sunflower fruits, it was not worth it. At the thought of this, Feng Yesheng snorted softly and did not say anything else. He retreated with Li Yi and the rest, avoiding the mansion of the city lord first. These people left quickly. In midair, the monster Sunflower City Lord who was fighting sensed it immediately. He was so angry that he almost vomited blood. *************************************************************************************************************************************************************************************************************************************************************************************************************************************** This was comparable to the strength of the people from the land of rebirth. Together with the two venerables and many chieftains in the city, even if they could not kill this group of people, they could still keep them out of the city. But these people had actually run away. ****. The people from the restricted area were all ****stards. All of them deserved to die. Usually, they gave them orders, not caring about the casualties in the outer realms. When it was time to risk their lives, these people were actually afraid of death to this extent. But this time, Feng Yeshing and Li Yi's identities were extremely important. If something really happened here, he would not be able to explain. Although the monster Sunflower City Lord was furious, if the other party really left, he had nothing to say. Now, while fighting, he shouted, "There are no sunflowers in the city! Longevity Sword, how dare you attack and kill the people in the city? From now on, I will no longer care about any rules. I will attack and kill martial artists from the land of rebirth every day and night." Old Man Li laughed loudly. "We won't be like you. Old Lu, only attack the mansion of the city lord. Don't kill those small fries. Kill those who block the way." As soon as he said that, Qin Feng Qing and the rest who were fighting in the city shouted, "Weaklings get lost. Those who block the way shall die. We will only attack the mansion of the city lord." The monster Sunflower City Lord was furious. Suddenly, he stopped talking. The materialized object suddenly emerged from Monster Sunflower's body and entered his body instantly. In the next moment, the Monster Sunflower City Lord unleashed a powerful attack. Monster Sunflower, on the other hand, prepared to withdraw and return to the city to kill these people. Old Man Lee had expected this. His long sword pierced through the air, blocking its path. He shouted, 1 minute! 1 minute, retreat! These words were not only said to Qing Fengqing and the rest, but also to Fang Ping in the city. 1 minute at most. He had to leave. If he did not leave now, he might not be in trouble. However, he could not keep 2 rank 9 occupied under such a huge consumption. Once they escaped, Qin Fengqing and the rest would be in danger. Quick, attack the mansion of the city lord and snatch the sunflower seeds! Everyone shouted one after another. Yet Kui Luo and the rest looked powerless, retreating as they fought. Initially, they thought that these people came to kill, to fight to the death. Then, of course, they would fight to the death. However, these people actually came for the sunflower seeds. There were some left in the mansion of the city lord, but very few. These people were going to retreat soon. If they insisted on fighting to the death at this time, what if they died? It was better to wait for the king and the Lord Protector to repel Longevity's sword before making plans. Hence, 2 rank 8s and 5 rank 7s suppressed these people and fought them into the city. At this moment, the residents and imperial guards in the city were also retreating hurriedly. The battle between these high-ranked powerhouses was not something they could stop. In the mansion of the city lord, Fan Ping caught an imperial guard general by surprise, interrogated him about some things, and quickly destroyed the corpse and erased the evidence. He had also heard Old Man Li's shout. When he saw Qin Fengqing and the rest charging in his direction, Fan Ping's gaze flickered slightly. He did not stay in the mansion of the city lord, but quickly ran in the direction where Feng Yexing and the rest had retreated. As soon as those fellows ran, he sensed it. As he chased in that direction, Fan Ping shouted, Monster Sunflower Corps, follow me out of the palace and protect the 2 highnesses. Having said that, almost 100 Imperial Guard martial artists gathered behind him. Fan Ping did not waste any time. He took the flight step and immediately led his men out of the mansion of the city lord to protect Feng Yexing and the rest. Although these fellows were all high-ranked, at this time, a little flattery might be effective. Feng Yexing and the rest did not run far. Very soon, Fan Ping saw their silhouettes. He shouted from afar, Your Highness, I'm late! Monster Sunflower Corps, protect your Highness! Fan Ping shouted his orders. In front, Feng Yexing and Li frowned. Do we need your protection? Moreover, these fellows made such a big fuss. Aren't they telling others that they ran away? For a moment, Feng Yexing's gaze toward Fan Ping was extremely unfriendly. Fan Ping did not care about that. He landed in front of Feng Yexing and Li in an instant. With the Chang now in his hand and his back facing them, he looked at the battlefield in the distance with a vigilant expression. He said in a low voice, Don't worry, your highnesses. Although I'm not a high-ranked powerhouse's match, I'm willing to fight for your highnesses until the end. Feng Yexing frowned slightly but did not say anything. He snorted coldly in his heart. Flatterer. If they really came, he did not believe that these people could fight to the end. However, these people would be leaving soon. Feng Yexing and the rest did not leave either. They stood outside the mansion of the city lord and watched the battle in the sky. The Monster Sunflower City Lord and Monster Sunflower were about to completely suppress Li Changxing. If Li Changxing and the rest did not leave, it would not just be a problem of the rank 7 and 8 powerhouses being left behind. At this moment, in midair, Qin Fengqing slashed downwards, smashing some of the buildings in the mansion of the city lord. He gritted his teeth and roared, Kill! Kill all these fellows and snatch the sunflower seeds! Li Hansong also blasted downwards with a punch. Some of the people in the mansion of the city lord who did not run were killed instantly. However, in the distance, Li Changxing was already roaring, Retreat quickly! Powerhouses are coming to help! Stop them! Make them stay! The monster Sunflower City Lord roared too. A few hundred li away, rank 9 powerhouses from another city had come to help. Retreat! Ko Bianjiang roared, retreating as he fought. Qin Fengqing was still reluctant to leave. He said unwillingly, I haven't snatched the sunflower seeds yet, let's go! There's still a chance next time. Li Hansong did not know if this was enough. However, if he did not retreat now, it would be too late. As for whether Fang Ping could pass, it would depend on his luck. At this moment, he did not know where Fang Ping was. At this moment, behind the mansion of the city lord, a rank 6 martial artist leaped into the sky, roaring, Don't you dare hurt my father! Ming'er! Stand down! Kuei Luo roared. Was his son stupid? He was currently being suppressed by Lu Polu. The other party was wielding a rank 9 divine weapon and had injured his golden body. However, if the other party wanted to retreat, he would be fine. His son, a warlord martial artist, had suddenly appeared. Did he have a death wish? Father! Fang Ping did not care. He held the Changdao in his hand. Energy appeared on the Changdao, and he slashed at Lu Polu. There was a loud bang. In the void, a saber gleam that looked like a long whip was slashed. Lu Polu frowned slightly. He ignored the saber gleam and struck at Fang Ping casually, intending to kill this rank 6 martial artist. Don't you dare! Kuei Luo was furious. In an outburst, he attacked Lu Polu madly. At this moment, Fang Ping's saber gleam neared him. With a bang, it exploded on Lu Polu's body. An extremely fine wound appeared on Lu Polu's left arm. As for Fang Ping, he hurriedly dodged his casual attack. Seeing that he could not dodge it, Fang Ping roared and slashed more than 10 times in a row. With a bang, Fang Ping flew backward and fell to the ground, right in front of Feng Yexing and the rest. Blood flowed from his mouth, his face pale. Feng Yexing and Li looked at each other. Their eyes lit up. This guy had injured a rank 8 with the strength of a middle-stage warlord. Although it was just a superficial wound that could not even withstand a casual attack from the other party was only a middle-stage warlord. His combat techniques were also extremely skilled, and his explosive power was extremely strong. They did not pay much attention to him before. Who knew that there was such a genius in the outer domain? Chapter 719. Ming'er! In midair, Aquillo's eyes reddened as he watched his son fall. It was not easy for golden body powerhouses to give birth to descendants. The stronger they were, the harder it was to give birth to descendants. Under normal circumstances, the descendants of those true king powerhouses were either born when they were weak, or their spouses were also very powerful. Only under such circumstances could they give birth to descendants smoothly. However, it was difficult to meet such conditions in the outland. There were not many female powerhouses in the human world or the catacombs world. Naturally, there was no shortage of true king powerhouses. Female powerhouses could not wait for a true king to take a liking to them. However, it was not possible in the outland, especially for a rank 8 martial artist like him. If a female powerhouse wanted to take a liking to a rank 8 powerhouse, it would be a city lord powerhouse. He would not have a chance. Aquillo only had this one descendant. Seeing his son being shot down by Lu Polu, how could he hold it in? With red eyes, he attacked Lu Polu madly. Meanwhile, Lu Polu frowned slightly and growled, Old Ko, kill that kid! He was a genius! A rank 6 could actually injure his golden body. Even if he was only a first forging golden body, a middle stage rank 6 martial artist could not hurt him. Not everyone was like Li Changxing. On the other side, Ko Bianjiang cursed. How do we kill him? That kid had fallen to Feng Yexing and the rest. How could they kill him? 2 rank 8s and 5 rank 7s were there. It was good enough that they did not attack. Why would they attack them? Did they have a death wish? Retreat! In the distance, Li Changxing shouted. If they did not retreat, he would not be able to hold on any longer. You want to leave? Not so easy! Monster Sunflower City's city lord was also trying his best to make Li Changxing stay. The other city lord was less than 100 li away. Qin Fengqing and the rest could not care less now. Li Hansong stayed at the back, letting the others attack him. Not only did he not defend, but he used the attack to grab Qin Fengqing and the rest and flew forward together. Kill, kill! These rank 7 martial artists wanted to kill him. It was almost a fool's dream. There was not enough time, or else he would have worn them out. The harder the 6 rank 7s attacked, the faster he ran. At the back, Feng Miexing watched for a while and suddenly frowned. Li Hansong had been hiding in the armor the whole time, so he hadn't recognized him before. But now, he felt a little familiar, especially when that guy hit people with his head. He realized that he had seen this guy before. The genius who was in cahoots with Fang Ping. Beside him, Li did not care about that. She squatted down and stared at Fang Ping. She smiled and said, "Interesting. Feng Miexing, this fellow actually injured a venerable. Don't you think it's interesting?" Feng Miexing stared at Li Hansong for a while, then lowered his head to look at Fang Ping, who was still spewing blood. He frowned slightly. "Not bad, but his injuries are quite serious." Li smiled and said nothing. This kind of injury was nothing. He wasn't dead, and the undying god wasn't injured, so there was no problem. And middle-stage warlord martial artists could injure a rank 8. That was talent and a high level of control over power. Li looked at Fang Ping for a while and said, "Someone, give him some fountain of life." Beside him, a rank 8 powerhouse heard him and quickly poured some life essence for Fang Ping. Fang Ping gulped it down, then said with difficulty, "Thank you, Your Highness." Li nodded slightly, stood up, and chuckled. "You have some ability. Enter the restricted area. When you reach the royal court, I still lack a gatekeeper. You'll do it." Beside her, Feng Miexing frowned slightly, but said nothing. Although a middle-stage rank 6 martial artist had decent ability, it was nothing in the restricted area. If this kid was rank 7, he might be tempted. But he was only rank 6, unless he reached rank 7 soon, then he could fight for it. While they were talking, Li Hansong had already led his men and ran all the way out of Royal City. Old Manly brought up the rear, holding back 2 rank 9 powerhouses. At this time, Old Manly caught a glimpse of Qiluo, who was still fighting Lu Polu. His gaze flickered. The kid who injured Lu Polu just now, was it Fang Ping? He did not know. But it was most likely Fang Ping. Qiluo was a rank 8 powerhouse. Once he came into contact with Fang Ping for a long time, he would easily notice something was wrong. He did not know if Fang Ping could sneak into the restricted area, or how long it would take, but he could not give Qiluo the chance to interact with him for a long time. Thinking of this, the golden glow on Old Man Li's longsword became sharp and piercing. Monster Sunflower City's lord and Monster Sunflower City's expressions changed slightly. At this time, Old Man Li slashed with his sword. The sword gleam pierced through the air, heading straight for Qiluo. "How dare you!" Monster Sunflower City's lord roared. On the other side, Qiluo's face was also full of fear. He sobered up instantly, not daring to entangle Lu Polu anymore. His golden body shone brightly, the destructive force emerging. With a roar, he retreated hastily. Monster Sunflower City's lord also slashed with his sword, destroying Li Changxing's sword gleam. He only had 2 rank 8 powerhouses under his command. Even though Qiluo had made a mistake earlier, he could not let Qiluo die. Rumble! An explosion sounded, and the void split open. Not far away, Lu Polu and Qiluo both spat out blood, both of them flying backward. Old Man Li's silhouette pierced through the air, grabbing Lu Polu. His speed was extremely fast, catching up with Qin Fengqing and the rest, dragging them as they flew toward Hope City. Monster Sunflower City's lord was just about to give chase when a rank 9 powerhouse's aura appeared not far away. Wuquishan was no longer guarding Hope City. Instead, he had rushed over to provide support. "Snake King, Longevity Sword!" Monster Sunflower City's lord was furious. He roared, "Since you want to fight, then let's fight! From today onwards, we won't rest until one of us is dead!" "Nonsense!" In front, Old Manly sneered as he fled. "You speak as if there was a truce earlier. I'll wait for you to fight." "Humph!" Monster Sunflower City's lord did not give chase. His eyes were cold and fierce. The longevity sword said that he was talking nonsense, but it was not nonsense. In the past, in the war between Monster Sunflower City and humans, battles between high ranks were rare. Monster Sunflower City mostly carried out the true king's orders. However, these people's attack on Monster Sunflower City today had thoroughly angered him. If that was the case, then future wars would no longer be small-scale battles. After this, he would definitely contact other cities to attack Hope City and Monster Wood City together. MC Mayu's people asked for it. "Father!" In the city, Fang Ping drank the life essence. His injuries healed rapidly. Right now, he could not care less about the others. He leaped up and hugged Kui Ming, who had fallen. Kui Ming had just been hit by 2 rank 9s. Although he did not die, his injuries were not light. Right now, golden blood was rolling in his mouth. Many cracks had appeared on his golden body. "Father, cough, cough. I'm fine." Kui Ming's face was pale. He glanced at Fang Ping and heaved a sigh of relief. He spat out a few more mouthfuls of blood and panted. "I'll be fine after resting for half a month." His injuries were not too serious. However, this time, he had endured the aftermath of 2 rank 9's attacks. Without 10 days to half a month, he would not be able to recover. Fang Ping panted heavily when he heard that. Kui Ming reprimanded him again. "Minger, don't mess around next time. If I didn't hold him back just now, you would have died long ago. How can you achieve great things if you're so impulsive?" Fang Ping said hurriedly. "I was just too angry. When I saw that father was hurt by him, sigh." Kui Ming sighed softly. He frowned slightly. "Has your induction convergence technique broken through?" "I've been diligently cultivating the induction convergence technique these days. I'm worried that I'll enter the restricted zone and embarrass father when I reach the royal court." Fang Ping said that, but he cursed in his heart. "I've called you father so many times. If you don't compensate me with your life, it won't be enough. Not only you better use Big Sunflower's life to compensate me. Don't say, it's very possible. It's best not to expose this identity. I'll use it the next time I come back to kill all of you." The two of them put on a good show of a loving father and a filial son. In midair, the Monster Sunflower City Lord landed. Kui Ming also returned to his original position. The Monster Sunflower City Lord glanced at everyone. His expression did not look too good. A commander-in-chief had died in battle. In the past, it was really not a big deal. However, in the last battle at Monster Wood City, 6 out of 14 commander-in-chiefs died in battle. This time, another one died. Half of them were already dead. Seeing that Kei Luo's injuries were not too serious, the Monster Sunflower City Lord was relieved. If another venerable died in battle, then Monster Sunflower City's combat power would be greatly reduced. "Kei Luo, go back and recuperate. Recover from your injuries as soon as possible." "King." Kei Luo glanced at his son. The Monster Sunflower City Lord frowned slightly. Kui Ming entering the restricted area is already a foregone conclusion. There won't be any changes. "Go." "Thank you, King." Kui Luo hurriedly stood up and cupped his hands. Fang Ping followed suit and bowed, his face full of excitement. Although he was almost certain before, he was not completely sure. Now, he was 100% sure. The Monster Sunflower City Lord did not say much. He glanced at Fang Ping and nodded slightly. "Kui Ming, don't be arrogant when you go to the royal court. There are countless geniuses in the royal court. Hurry up and thank the 2 highnesses for giving you a chance." Hearing that, Fang Ping immediately turned around and bowed to Feng Mieshing and Kui Ming to thank them. With a face full of respect, he said, "Thank you, your highnesses, for your help. Lian smiled faintly. There aren't many geniuses in the outer domain. You're considered to have some talent. No need to thank me. Cultivate well and enter the commander level as soon as possible. If you don't become a commander level, you're all trash and a waste of resources. Your subordinate will definitely not let your highness down. Lian yawned and did not say anything else. Her expression was languid. On the side, Feng Miesheng looked at the city lord's mansion beside him. It was slightly damaged. He frowned and said, "The people of MCMAU are arrogant and despotic. They actually dared to take the initiative to attack Monster Sunflower City. This time, when we return to the royal court, we will definitely report to the Lord and fight MCMAU again." As for the fact that they did not make a move earlier, the two of them did not even mention it. The Monster Sunflower City Lord did not say anything either. He nodded slightly and beckoned for the two of them to continue to rest in the City Lord's mansion. As for the others, he did not instruct them anything. Needless to say, there would naturally be people who would clean up the mess. As for Fan Ping and Kuei Luo, they did not follow them. Instead, they returned to their own courtyards through another path. As they walked, Kuei Luo said softly, "Ming'er, although you were reckless this time, Her Highness Lian has taken notice of you. However, I heard that the Lord is weak. Although Her Highness Lian is one of the heirs to the Lord, she may not be able to inherit the throne. When you arrive at the royal court, you can use Her Highness Lian's influence to gain a foothold in the royal court. If there's a chance, you can become a disciple of a divine general. Maybe you can become a disciple of a true king. Don't rush back. Now that the war has begun, the outskirts are dangerous. If possible, enter the king's territory as soon as possible and become the city lord. When that time comes, I will also find a way to enter the restricted area and meet up with you." Kuei Luo's words slightly surprised Fan Ping. It seemed that these catacombs powerhouses were not stupid. The war had begun. Now that the situation was critical, it was not only the humans who felt this way. These powerhouses in the outskirts of the catacombs also felt the danger. This fellow Kuei Luo was not someone who would betray his companions to escape. He was also very afraid of death. This time, sending his son to the restricted area was probably also to have a way out. "It's a pity that your son has just died," Fan Ping muttered in his heart, but his expression was solemn. He nodded hurriedly and said in a low voice, "Father, I heard that Her Highness Lian likes to hunt for novelties. Do you have any unique treasures at home? Your son can offer them to Her Highness." Aquila frowned slightly. "A unique treasure?" Sunflower glanced at Fan Ping and thought for a moment before saying, "In recent years, His Highness has bestowed me with 100 sunflower fruits. During the banquet, Her Highness Li had asked His Highness to present the sunflower fruits. However, I had originally planned to wait until you've become a peak general before using these sunflower fruits when you've become a quasi-commander." Fan Ping's gaze flickered. He said hurriedly, "Father, it's better to save the sunflower fruit for when I advance. If I don't advance to commander level, I won't have any status in the royal court. If I want to become a true king's disciple, I'll have to advance to commander level as soon as possible." That family. Aquila glanced at his son again. This time, he wasn't blaming him, but rather feeling gratified. His son was both brave and intelligent, and he was even stronger than he was. Sooner or later, he would have great accomplishments after entering the Forbidden Region. Since that was the case, if he wanted his son to have a firm foothold in the royal court, he would just have to bleed. A few years ago, I obtained 3 golden body fruits in the 100 Beasts forest. I was planning to use them for my own use to break through to the upper level of the Supremacy Realm. However, my progress has been slow these few years, and I'm afraid that I won't be able to break through to the upper level. Since that's the case, you can go to the treasury later and take it." Fan Ping despised him in his heart. "Damn it! I thought you'd have some savings, but you only have 3 golden fruits." He had seen this thing before. Back then, when Old Zhao gave away 10 divine weapons, Old Zhang gave Old Zhao a golden fruit. However, something that could make a paragon take action would not be too bad. The golden fruit was a great help in forging the physique. Although it was not as valuable as 10 divine weapons, it was still as valuable as 1 divine weapon. Aquila got 3 of them in one go. If he was willing, he might be able to exchange them for a rank 8 divine weapon that was slightly inferior. However, in the catacombs, energy fruits were easy to come by, but divine weapons were hard to come by. Especially in the outer domain. There were not many demons in the outer domain. Rank 8 demons were all Forbidden Land demons, the kind that huddled together. It was very difficult to have divine weapons. Today, powerhouses like the mayor of Monster Sunflower City were all using divine weapons rewarded by the Forbidden Land. The mayor of Skygate City, who was the first to use a divine weapon, was almost surrounded and killed by the demons. It was only in the later stages that the Forbidden Land demons stopped using divine weapons, which came from the accumulation of many years of war. Otherwise, even if the mayor of Monster Sunflower City had a divine weapon, he might not have dared to use it. 3 golden fruits. That's not too bad. There's also a treasure trove. That's good, I'll take them all. I'll just say it's for bribing. Fan Ping glanced at Aquila. This old guy was going to recuperate later. He was probably not guarded against his own son. If he emptied out his treasure trove, he probably would not have any objections, right? Very soon, both of them arrived at the courtyard. As soon as he returned, Aquila went to recuperate. There were still remnants of Old Man Li's sword aura in his body, still destroying his flesh. If he did not expel it soon, his injuries would become more serious. As soon as Fang Ping returned, a maidservant immediately came forward, bowing and greeting. Young commander. Aquila was the commander of the Imperial Guards, with a high position and power. Although Fang Ping was only rank 6, he was not called a general. Everyone in Monster Sunflower City called him young commander. Fang Ping ignored these people. The more he said, the more mistakes he would make. At this moment, it was not convenient for him to use his mentality. Fang Ping wandered around the courtyard, and no one dared to stop him. Very soon, Fang Ping found the treasure trove. In front of Aquila's treasure trove, there were also 2 rank 6 powerhouses guarding. When they saw Fang Ping, they bowed and greeted. Open the treasure trove. Father ordered me to retrieve some treasures. Both of them did not dare to stop him, and quickly opened the treasure trove. Inside the treasure trove, Fang Ping walked around casually. A rank 8 powerhouse's belongings were quite generous. These powerhouses did not have storage rings, so they could only store things. Most of them were still energy stones. As one of the few rank 8 powerhouses, there were mineral veins underground. Every year, these rank 8 powerhouses received a lot of energy stones. Moreover, Aquila and the others all had properties in the city. As the commander of the Imperial Guards, Aquila received a lot of benefits too. Fang Ping saw a storeroom that specialized in storing energy stones. More than 10 boxes of rank 9 energy stones. A box of 1,000 caddies. So much. Fang Ping's eyes were bright. There was at least 12,000 caddies. 6 tons. F***CK, this rank 8 martial artist actually collected so much wealth? The value was as high as 3.6 trillion. In the catacombs, high-ranked powerhouses, especially royal city powerhouses, did not lack energy stones. There was no shortage of VIPs like Aquila. These people received a lot of energy stones every year, but their strength progressed slowly, and their consumption was not high. If they saved 100 caddies a year, in the next 100 years, they could save 10,000 caddies. Of course, they could not save that much, and sometimes they would consume a lot. However, Aquila had properties, and he would also exploit those people outside the city, including those in the city. It was understandable that he had so much savings. Should I take it away? Fang Ping was conflicted. Trillions! But how could he take it? If he took it away, would he not be telling others that he had storage equipment? However, if he did not take it away, Fang Ping could only watch as tens of thousands of caddies of rank 9 energy stones were left here. He felt like his heart was bleeding. 6 tons! The last time he excavated a royal city mineral vein, he did not even get this much. Because in their hands, the royal city mineral vein was no longer a renewable resource. But in the catacombs, it was renewable. In the catacombs, the monster plants would absorb the nearby energy to maintain the mineral vein. The huge energy sun in the sky was also constantly overflowing with energy. That energy sun seemed to be producing endless energy. This was the main reason why the catacombs was rich in energy, and there were so many energy stones. Aquila's family was rich, and Monster Sunflower City had not had many wars with humans, so they were much wealthier than Skygate City. If there was a war, they had to burn money. Every time there was a war, these powerhouses would be injured, and healing them would consume a lot of energy. The people of Skygate City were poor, and so were the high-ranked powerhouses. But the people of Monster Sunflower City were quite rich. What should I do? Fang Ping struggled for a while. He did not look at this anymore, but looked elsewhere. Soon, Fang Ping found a lot of energy fruits in the depths of the treasure vault. 100 honing fruit, vein molding flower, and 3 golden fruits. There were no divine fruit. Many natural treasures related to improving mentality were special products of the catacombs. Some catacombs did not produce these things. Magic City's catacombs, however, did not lack treasures in this area. Sunflower fruit, also known as sunflower seeds. In a crystal treasure box, Fang Ping found a box of golden sunflower seeds. Good stuff. Fang Ping held the treasure box, his face full of surprise. The sunflower monster did not produce too many sunflower seeds every year, and rank 9 did not need them. They were mainly distributed to the other powerhouses of Monster Sunflower City, and Aquila could get 3 to 5 every year. Aquila had lived in Monster Sunflower City for hundreds of years, and he had achieved golden body for as long as 60 years. After so many years he had gotten a lot. But a lot of it was used by him, and he had also rewarded some to the Imperial Guards. Now there were only about 100 left. Fang Ping did not waste any time. He picked up a sunflower seed and swallowed it. Soon, Fang Ping's eyes moved, and he was pleasantly surprised. 1 sunflower seed could actually increase his mentality by 5 hertz. He was a rank 8 martial artist. Although his mentality was a little weak, it was still comparable to a peak rank 7 powerhouse's mentality. He could actually increase it by 5 hertz. Fang Ping understood that the first time was a big increase. The next time would probably be a little weaker, but 5 hertz was relatively not a small increase. After swallowing these 100 sunflower seeds, I can increase my mentality by at least close to 300 hertz. This thing's effect is better than the divine fruit. The divine fruit is only effective for martial artists with mentality below 500 hertz, but it can't compare to this. If this is used by a rank 6 martial artist, the effect will be at least 5 times better than mine. Fang Ping waited in his heart. A rank 6 martial artist could increase their mentality by at least 20 hertz if they took one. That was the minimum. The things that a rank 9 monster plant gave birth to were indeed extraordinary. The dark moon grass was only born from a rank 7 monster plant, but its effect was already extremely amazing. It was only because the sunflower produced a lot of sunflower seeds every year that the effect was spread out. Otherwise, even the heavenly golden lotus might not be able to compare. The flower disc of the sunflower is definitely more effective than the heavenly golden lotus. Fang Ping swallowed again. It was really good luck to encounter a monster plant with special effects like this. A heavenly golden lotus had a total of 8 petals. The price of 1 petal was 20 billion from old Zhang's side. The value of a heavenly golden lotus was even more expensive than a rank 9 divine weapon. A normal rank 9 monster plant, even a complete one, was worth more than 100 billion. This sunflower, however, was definitely worth more than that. If the flower disc really had an effect on mentality, it would be worth at least 300 billion. A sunflower seed is worth at least 1 billion and above. Fan Ping put the treasure box into the big pocket in his hand and waited patiently. How much wealth could it increase? He should be very safe now. There was no danger, because Geluo did not suspect him. That was enough. As expected, Fan Ping's eyes moved quickly. His wealth had really increased. Seeing this, Fan Ping hesitated no more. He was rich. 100 honing fruit, sunflower seed, golden body fruit, vein sculpting flower. Fan Ping threw everything he saw into the big pocket. The treasure trove mainly contained these energy fruits and energy stones. As for some weapons, they might be comparable to A-grade alloy weapons, but Fan Ping did not fancy them. Even if he did fancy them, it would not be good to take them away. There was no use in bringing these things out of the treasure trove. I've really struck it rich! Fan Ping was overjoyed. He began to plan whether he should do this a few more times in the future. The catacombs powerhouses did not care too much about these things. If he pretended to be their family, he might get a lot of benefits. Moreover, he did not need to fight. 100 sunflower seeds, worth hundreds of billions. 3 golden body fruits, worth more than 30 billion. The other energy fruits, added together, are worth more than 10 billion, almost 150 billion. Fan Ping grinned in joy. This was called earning money while lying down. Old John had gone to a few holy lands and obtained 1,000 caddies of energy stones. How could he be so shameless? Look at the tens of thousands of caddies of energy stones next to it. He was too lazy to take them. Energy fruits are more useful. Maybe the source stones can't be wasted too. Fan Ping gritted his teeth. He could not let go of the tens of thousands of caddies of energy stones. This was money, a few trillion. Thinking of this, Fan Ping walked out of the treasure trove quickly and shouted at the 2 rank 6 martial artists guarding. Go, bring out all the life stones and send them to my room. Liquefied life stones. I want to cultivate and break through to upper stage warlord. The 2 rank 6 powerhouses were stunned. Liquefied life stones? There was such a thing, but was it necessary? Both of them were still puzzled. Fan Ping thought for a while and frowned. Father is in closed-door cultivation. It's very slow for me to liquefy. How about this, you guys go and change it to liquefied life liquid and send it to my room. Stone-like ones were difficult to carry, but liquefied ones were easy, right? More than 10,000 caddies. If it was liquefied and compressed, it would be 1 or 2,000 caddies at most. 1 or 2,000 caddies. Just compress it into a big ball. He would use the excuse of breaking through and spend more than half of it. The rest was easy. As Fan Ping said this, one of them said hurriedly, Young Commander, how much do you want to exchange? Exchanging for liquefied energy liquid could really be done. He just needed to pay a small processing fee. It was not too difficult for high-ranked powerhouses to liquefy energy stones. All of them. Both of them were stunned. All of them? You, a rank 6 martial artist, wanted to use all the life stones to cultivate? What a joke! This was the High Commander's savings for 100 years. Fan Ping shouted. Hurry up! Father has already agreed. I'm going to enter the restricted area soon and reach the royal court. This little bit of strength is not enough. When I have a firm foothold in the royal court, this little bit of life stones will be nothing. Young Commander, should we ask the High Commander? Father is healing. Don't be ridiculous. Fan Ping looked angry, his eyes dangerous. Why? You want to disobey orders? Both of them looked terrified and did not dare to say anything. Fan Ping put his hands behind his back and left straight away. After he left, both of them looked at each other, their faces full of helplessness. There were so many life stones. The young commander wanted to liquefy them all to cultivate. Was this not a waste? In the catacombs, the energy stones were polished into cubes. One stone usually represented a weight of about 1 caddy. Tens of thousands of rank 9 life stones. If only energy was considered, it was enough for a person to start from 0 and cultivate to rank 9. There would even be a lot left. But now, a rank 6 was going to be used in one go. The more they thought about it, the more they cursed in their hearts. Wastrel! Even if you wanted to break through, 1,000 stones would be enough for you. 100 stones would be more than enough. In the end, he actually wanted to use all of them. Was he not afraid that the High Commander would come out of closed-door cultivation, however, thinking that the young commander was the High Commander's son, and that the High Commander had always pampered the son, if he knew, he would probably scold him a little at most. Both of them were helpless and did not dare to neglect it. If the High Commander knew, he would just scold them a little. However, if they did not listen to orders now, and the young commander got angry later, it would not be a matter of scolding them. Very soon, both of them gathered their manpower and started moving those energy stones. As for the energy fruits in the treasury that the young commander had taken away, everyone pretended that they did not see it. They could not do anything about it. At the same time, Fang Ping was so happy that his mouth was almost crooked. The energy fruits had increased his wealth by 16 million points in one go. Later, when those energy stones were replaced with energy liquids, even if it was a lot less, it would be equivalent to 10,000 caddies of energy stones. That would be worth 3 trillion. Ha! Earning money is too easy! Fang Ping was ecstatic, but his expression did not change. He despised old Zhang even more. Pauper! Look at how I earn money! Genius 1 second to remember website address, mobile version URL. Chapter 720. Meanwhile, Earth. Capital City. Zhang Tao received the call and frowned slightly. Even in the middle of the night, the Ministry of Education was still brightly lit. You didn't suffer any losses, did you? No. He killed a rank 7 martial artist. Li Changxing brought his men back. On the other end of the line, someone reported the news. Then, after a moment of hesitation, he said, Minister, is it really appropriate to hand over Magic City catacombs to MC Mayu? The few from MC Mayu were extremely belligerent. In today's battle, although they had killed a rank 7 martial artist, Dean Li and the others were almost held up. If anything happens, the person who reported the news felt somewhat helpless. Humans were not as powerful as the catacombs. It was not a good thing to be overly belligerent. Just like tonight's battle, it shouldn't have happened. A meaningless battle. He did kill a rank 7 on the other side, but it was still extremely dangerous. If the catacombs' powerhouses had arrived a little faster, Li Changxing might have fallen into the trap. Otherwise, if another rank 9 invaded Wu Kuishin's side and he could not come to support, then it would be even more dangerous. Zhang Tao muttered, I'll talk to them later. It's time for Li Changxing to suffer a little. After hanging up the phone, Zhang Tao frowned again. What are you doing? Don't you know how to respect personal privacy? Li Jin was stunned for a long time before he couldn't help but curse. Talk about yourself. I need to talk to you about something. What's going on in Shanghai? If MC Mayu is always like this, fighting these unnecessary battles, then I will have to consider whether or not to allow MC Mayu to guard the Magic City catacombs. These bastards. Can't they be more realistic? Zhang Tao, you have to change the culture of martial arts universities. Now, Hua Nation doesn't have the strength to initiate a war. The situation is already bad, but if they initiate a war, won't they be adding to our burden? Li Jin felt very helpless. Li Changxing used to be quite steady, but what happened? Today's battle was indeed meaningless. It was said that it was just to snatch the sunflower seeds. When Li Jin received the news, he was almost depressed to death. A group of robbers? Most importantly, he wasn't as strong as others. Weren't he afraid of being beaten to death by bandits? Zhang Tao chuckled and said, It's not a big deal to fight a little. However, the defensive zone was about to change. If MC Mayu were to guard the Magic City catacombs, the Magic City catacombs would need to arrange for a paragon to hold the fort. Once the War King recovers from his injuries, I'll let him oversee the 7 southern regions. As for the 9 southern regions, Nanyan, you will oversee them, Li Jin said seriously. Is there a need? The 6 southern regions have Ancestor Way, but now the 7 southern regions. It's a little troublesome here in Magic City. With MC Mayu's suppression, this kind of battle will happen frequently. But we can't just leave MC Mayu and not use it. That would be too wasteful. It was necessary for the War King to oversee the battle. If we don't make it in time, the true king will kill Li Changxing and the others. Zhang Tao's words made Li Jin feel helpless. What he said made sense. After some thought, Li Jin said, "Luckily Fang Ping is in closed-door cultivation. Otherwise, if this guy knew that the people from MC Mayu were robbing him, he might not be able to hold back an attack. That would be even worse." What you said makes sense. The 7 southern regions should be guarded by experts. Zhang Tao didn't say anything. What did this old man know? If it was not because of Fang Ping's instructions, Li Changxing would not have started this war because he had nothing better to do. Fang Ping was in closed-door cultivation. Maybe it was closed-door cultivation in the catacombs. Li Jin didn't continue this topic. He said, "Yesterday and today, the number of people who signed up to join the army exceeded 500,000. Zhang Tao, how do you think we should handle this? Also, other countries are pressuring us now. Some small countries are already in turmoil. They don't have enough resources for everyone to cultivate. You seized a section of the mineral vein before, and this time you've conquered the forbidden catacombs. What the other countries mean is that since Sino Nation took the initiative to disclose the information, then we should take responsibility. Resources must be shared my ass." Zhang Tao swore and said exasperatedly, "Who told you that? Who said that? Don't you know to kill him with a sword? Where did our resources come from? Didn't we fight for them? In these 2 years, how many high-ranked martial artists have died in battle in Sino Nation? Tell them to stop talking nonsense. If they keep talking nonsense, I'll lead the Sino Nation elites to seek refuge in the catacombs. I'd like to see who dies in the end. All of you work but don't contribute. Do you live for me? Is it really my responsibility alone? Those good-for-nothings, if they don't contribute, we might as well let the catacombs invade Earth. Sino Nation's other things aside, if we join hands with Heavenly King Suppression, it won't be difficult to save some people's lives. We have this capital, but do they? Each and every one of them dares to hoot at me all the time. Don't piss me off. I've been extremely impatient these past few years. Inform the other 5 holy lands to start a war soon. If they really lack strength, Sino Nation can send some people to help. However, they have to be the main force. After obtaining the resources, we'll split the profits 370. Sino Nation wants 30%. It's not a lot. Also, warn them. If they continue to play dead, I'll ask Fang Ping to harm them. Believe it or not, I'll do it." Li Jin was stunned for a moment. These words seemed to have a deeper meaning. How to harm them? As if he knew what he was thinking, Zhang Tao sneered. "It's so simple. Ask that kid to walk around each catacombs, conceal his aura, and blow up 1 or 2 royal cities. These people will fight until their brains bleed. Don't force me. I don't want them to passively participate in the war. I've always been too lazy to care about them." But now, he even dared to ask for resources to be shared. Did he really think that he was a pushover? Tell them my exact words. I can't be bothered with them. They can do whatever they want. If they can't do it, then ask them to surrender. I want to see if the catacombs will accept it, and if they will kill them. If they surrender, I'll go to the catacombs and engage in guerrilla warfare. At most, I'll go to the domain zone or the Forbidden Sea. Can they really kill me? Your temper. Li Jin was speechless and said helplessly, "Don't be so irritable. They didn't mean it that way. But now that the news has been made public, China is still fine, but other places are indeed a little chaotic. Everyone strives for strength to protect themselves, but the lack of resources is indeed very severe. It's difficult. It's hard for them, but it's also hard for us. Over the years, he had only managed to save some good stuff in the past 2 years. However, he had risked his life to get those things. How could he give them to them? If you have the ability, then snatch it yourself. Asking us to give it to them is impossible. Then MC may use mineral vein. Don't be silly. If you set your sights on the MC Mayu mineral vein, would the MC Mayu guys be happy? How could Fang Ping be willing? If these guys quit, you'll have to fight for them in the future? These guys haven't reached the pinnacle yet. They're all bandits. You can snatch some, share some. Don't kill the chicken and take the eggs. Don't you understand this principle? Don't worry, there will be more income later. That kid Fang Ping can't stay idle. Sooner or later, he'll go out and make a fortune. Once he makes a fortune, I guarantee that something will happen. If something happens, collect some protection fees from him. Li Jin's head hurt. He said angrily, "We're not a triad." Zhang Tao's mouth was full of slang. Listening to him, he thought that he was a triad. What? Make a fortune? What protection fees? Was it appropriate for these words to come out of your mouth? No wonder martial arts universities had changed so much in the past few years. It was all Zhang Tao, this old bastard's bad influence. Zhang Tao said indifferently, "Whatever you say. Aren't you capable? Then go and snatch it yourself. There are still many mineral veins at Mount Royal Sea. Take some time to move a few back. That's all 10,000 Demon Royal Court's territory. You want to start a war with them? Then there's nothing I can do. You can't get good stuff on your own, and now you're complaining about the lack of resources." Could he have gone to the Magic City catacombs? Was he the one who ordered the war this time? After thinking for a while, he said suddenly, "No, if he was the one who ordered it, how could there be so little movement? He didn't reap many benefits either. Could it be that he's gone overseas? Or he's gone to the Tian'an catacombs? Preparing to go to the bounded domain? No, I have to get someone to keep an eye on him." Zhang Tao coughed softly. He denied. "How could that be? He didn't go to the bounded domain or the outer realm. The outer realm is hunting for him. Would he dare to show his face? Don't worry, he's still in closed-door cultivation." Li Jin felt that there was a deeper meaning to this. He did not think too much about it. In his heart, he wondered if he should go to MC Mayu to take a look. That kid was not a good person. His strength was not much, but his ability to cause trouble was really extraordinary. Sino Nation had been in many wars recently. Although the losses were not too great, frequent wars were not a good thing. Very quickly, Zhang Tao changed the topic. If we're training soldiers, the Forbidden Catacombs is more suitable. Conscription. Since everyone knows the dangers of the catacombs, they still want to sign up. That's patriotic. Since they're not willing to wait for death and the extinction of mankind, then we'll give them a chance. This time, conscript 1 million soldiers. It's only been 2 days and so many people have signed up. 1 million is not a lot. After all these years, we still have some reserves. At this time, if we don't use it, there's no point in keeping it. The pill company has a lot of reserves too. Use it all you want. Continue to lower the price of basic pills. Those who join the army will be free. At least we have to train these people into martial artists. As for the future, it's up to them. This year, the martial arts universities recruited hundreds of thousands of people and the military department conscripted 1 million people. If all of them become martial artists, the number of martial artists in Sino Nation will exceed 4 million. This is the end of the world, but it's also a golden age. The age of martial arts. Zhang Tao's tone was slightly complicated. 4 million martial artists. This was unimaginable in the past. 100 years ago, there were no more than 10,000 martial artists in Sino Nation. In just 100 years, this number had increased by 400 times. Li Jin also sighed. This was indeed a golden age. In the past 1,000 years, this was the era with the most martial artists. It was the most prosperous era. It was also the era with the most powerhouses in the past 1,000 years. Soon, the number of martial artists in the world would reach 10 million. At this point, Zhang Tao said in a low voice, "There's one more thing. The sect world." Previously, the sect world leaders gathered in Chengzhou to suppress the Chengzhou catacombs. This time, Zhao Xingwu defected and escaped. Without him holding the fort, the sect world's strength is greatly reduced. Kong Lingyuan holding the fort in Chengzhou is not a long-term solution. I'm preparing to inform those old fellows that the sect world needs to hold at least one catacomb. Otherwise, all resources will not be open to the sect world in the future. Whether they work together or hire others, in short, they need to hold the fort in one catacomb. Also, those resurrected martial artists over at Stellar Sky City, those who didn't come out last time, come out this time. You tell Stellar Sky City that these people are martial artists of the sect world. Although the sect world has declined, they don't want to see the sect completely destroyed, so come out. Stellar Sky City does have resources, but I've already discussed it with a few families. In the future, these families will withdraw from this plan and will no longer provide resources. If those families are still willing to provide resources, I have no objections. We'll continue to support them. Whether we can support them or not depends on them. Finally, it's still the same as before. Do you want the cultivation method or not? If you want it, then let people come out to hold the fort in the catacombs. If you don't want it, then continue to fight on the battlefield. Li Jin, I'm warning you, if you dare to spread the cultivation method recklessly, I won't be polite to you. At this point, Zhang Tao said in a low voice, Stellar Sky City really doesn't have the cultivation method for the brain nucleus? Even the Heavenly King's subduing king doesn't have it? If not, how on earth did these people cultivate to the pinnacle back then? Li Jin said in a low voice. If the old ancestor says there isn't, then there's a high probability that there isn't. Otherwise, he wouldn't hide these things. Then tell me, how did they cultivate to the pinnacle? Moreover, they're in the same era. Li Jin was silent for a moment, and slowly said, Perhaps, they were originally at the pinnacle. Zhang Tao's pupils shrank. He said in a low voice, You're saying, resurrection. Resurrection in another sense. Li Jin's spiritual force fluctuated fiercely. He said in a low voice, It's not the kind of death, but a deep slumber. Or perhaps the kind of blood resurrection, where they lost all memories and were resurrected by someone. The old ancestors themselves may not know how they reached the pinnacle. Otherwise, the old ancestors wouldn't have found it so difficult to advance even an inch for several hundred years. The old ancestors' strength isn't actually too strong. This is because they might lack some past experiences. They aren't too clear about how they reached the pinnacle. Nan Yunhua has just broken through. The two old ancestors Qin and Xin are probably not as strong as her. There's no reason that the pinnacle of the neo-martial era must be stronger than the old ancestors. If they don't know how they reached the pinnacle in the past, then it makes sense. They have already forgotten how they stepped onto this path. For several hundred years, they're more or less the same as us, starting anew. The higher you stand, the more difficult it is to start anew. Among these people, my old ancestor and the Battle King have already comprehended their own path. But the others may not be able to. Zhang Tao, what do you think? There's this possibility. Zhang Tao's eyes turned. He mumbled, Resurrection. They were resurrected by someone. There really is this possibility. That old ghost Battle King has chatted with me several times. When I asked about his past, that old ghost was very silent. He was probably depressed and didn't know too much. It's a very large scale. So many pinnacles, could they have all been resurrected? Forget it, I'll ignore them for now. The possibility isn't small. Don't look at that old fellow Battle King because he's old. I feel that his thoughts are very simple. I'm afraid he hasn't seen much of the world. Perhaps as soon as he was resurrected, he began to stand guard at Imperial Sea Mountain. Otherwise, how could someone who's hundreds and thousands of years old be so simple and care about so many generations of descendants? The pinnacles of suppressing Star City greatly valued and doted on their descendants. Otherwise, they wouldn't have allowed them to go out and gain experience only after reaching the rank 6 realm. If he was really an old ghost who had lived for thousands of years, not to mention that his feelings were completely extinguished, he would not be as sentimental as he was now. Following Zhang Tao's change of topic, both of them talked about the pinnacles. As for Fang Ping, Li Jin temporarily forgot about him. Old Zhang said that Fang Ping did not enter the catacombs. It was probably true. As for Zhang Tao saying that he did not enter the outland or the bounded boundaries, nonsense. Other than these places, where else could Fang Ping go? Could it be that he went through Imperial Sea Mountain and went to the restricted area? Or maybe he went to the Forbidden Sea? That would be courting death. Li Jin did not think about these aspects at the moment. Magic City Catacombs. Very soon, Fang Ping got the energy fluid. After getting the energy fluid, Fang Ping immediately closed the door and began closed-door cultivation. In the middle of the night, a wave of aura fluctuation came from the backyard. Fang Ping, who was originally at middle stage rank 6, instantly became upper stage rank 6. The Sanjiao gate flashed and disappeared. It was extremely fast and disappeared very quickly. Fang Ping had just broken through, and many mentality probed toward him. In the residence of the city lord, Monster Sunflower City's mayor was slightly surprised. Did Kui Ming break through? However, seeing that fellow wrapped himself in the life fluid, Monster Sunflower City's mayor could not help but curse. How did Kui Luo raise such a son? So many years of savings were wasted by his son just like that? Energy could only be said to be auxiliary in a rank 6 breakthrough. It was not a decisive factor. If Kui Ming could break through, it meant that he was not too far away from upper stage rank 6. After a few months of polishing, maybe he would break through naturally. Now, wasting so much energy fluid was really a waste. However, thinking that this kid was going to enter the restricted area soon and was anxious, Monster Sunflower City's mayor could understand. As for Kui Luo, that fellow had been stuck at rank 8 for many years and had no hope of breaking through in the short term. If it was wasted, then so be it. Monster Sunflower City's mayor was not the only one who sensed it. In the courtyard, Kui Luo, who was recuperating, also sensed it. In an instant, he was extremely gratified. His son had broken through. Very soon, very soon. His son had only been a middle-stage warlord for slightly more than a year, and he had actually advanced so quickly. It seemed that his son had gained something from attacking the Venerable today. Greatly gratified, Kui Luo wanted to come out of closed-door cultivation to take care of his son. However, his injuries were not light, and the sword aura had not been extinguished. After thinking for a while, he gave up on the idea. It was fine as long as his son broke through. Upper stage warlord. When he reached peak and consumed some sunflower fruits, he would be able to reach quasi-commander very quickly. Perhaps in a few years, his son would be able to enter commander. In the restricted area, there were many opportunities. In 3 to 5 years, there was hope for him to reach the same rank as himself. Thinking of this, Kui Luo felt that his injuries were nothing. It was really gratifying. Monster Sunflower City's mayor and Kui Luo sensed it. Feng Yexing and the others were no exception. After all, they were all in the mansion. Sensing Fang Ping's breakthrough, Feng Yexing raised his eyebrows slightly. That was quite fast. If that was the case, the commander level was not too far away. If he could send the other party to the king's battleground, he might be able to enter commander in a few months. Once he reached commander level, he would no longer be a dispensable existence. 7 Southern Territory has really produced a genius. This Kui Ming doesn't seem that old. He's not even 30 years old, right? This thought surfaced in Feng Yexing's mind. In the Outland, it was not easy to have such achievements before 30 years old. He only had a venerable for a father. In the restricted area, there were many descendants of true kings. It was not a big deal to look at the rank alone. However, the fact that the other party dared to swing his saber at a venerable showed his courage and boldness. He had injured the other party, and his strength was even stronger, and his talent was outstanding. At this moment, some thoughts surfaced in Feng Yesheng's mind. Perhaps it was time for him to fight. That fellow Li wanted to subdue this kid. He could not let it go. The geniuses he had subdued in the last king's battleground were all dead. As for the group of people left behind by Feng Qing, there was some estrangement between them. He still had to cultivate his own team. These people were calculating. Fan Ping, on the other hand, sealed the remaining energy liquid. More than 10,000 caddies of energy stones had been exchanged for close to 2,000 caddies of energy liquid. Fan Ping had spent about 300 caddies of energy liquid for his breakthrough. Although it seemed terrifying, it was normal for a rapid breakthrough to consume a lot of energy. As for where the 300 caddies had ended up, naturally, it had fallen into the space. Walking out of the room, Fan Ping looked at the data while accepting the congratulations from the people in the mansion. The young commander had become an upper-stage warlord. It was indeed worthy of celebration. Fan Ping, on the other hand, said with great generosity, "There's quite a lot of life liquid left. I'll enter the restricted area and bring some with me for cultivation. I'll be leaving soon. My father is still in the mansion. In the future, everyone needs to work hard for my father. These are your rewards. Cultivate more. I hope that when I return, a commander-in-chief will be born under my father's command." Fan Ping tossed some energy liquid to a few rank 6 martial artists in the mansion. They were extremely excited. One by one, they knelt down and said loudly, "Thank you, young commander. We won't let you down. We're willing to die for you." Fan Ping said loudly, "My father is injured. If there's another war, the martial artists of Hope City will attack again. Please help me. When I return tomorrow, Kui Ming will definitely repay you. We'll definitely die." These martial artists were also extremely excited. In the catacombs, it was rare for a superior to treat a subordinate so well. This was life liquid. Usually, it was difficult for them to even obtain a little life stone. This time, the young commander was going to leave. He was actually so generous. Everyone was stunned. In the distance, where Kuei Luo was cultivating in seclusion, Fan Ping's voice was so loud that it could be heard. Kuei Luo's expression was incomparably complicated. His son was still thinking about him before he left. He did not know if there would be any danger when he went to the restricted area this time. "It's a pity that your father is only a venerable. Minger, live well," Kuei Luo muttered in his heart. As for his son giving benefits to the martial artists in the mansion, he did not care too much. This was his son's filial piety. He had to accept it. In the mansion, Fan Ping glanced at the place where Kuei Luo was cultivating in seclusion. "I've made it clear to you that these things are to be brought to the restricted area to cultivate and organize. I've also rewarded these martial artists while I'm at it. The treasury is empty. Don't misunderstand." After settling these matters, the corners of Fan Ping's mouth curled up. He was rich. Wealth, 360 million points. Vitality, 64,200 calories, 64,299 calories. Mentality, 3,310 Hz, 3,370 Hz. Destructive force, 24 yuan, 24 yuan. Bones honed, 206 pieces, 100%. Storage space, 1,000 cubic meters, plus. Energy shield, 1 point/minute, plus. Aura simulation, 10 points/minute, plus. It had increased by about 310 million points. The fee charged for exchanging energy stones for energy liquids was not small. After all, it required a high-ranked powerhouse to do it. It was also a strenuous task. Even so, after conversion, it had increased by so much. Fan Ping was still wild with joy. Now, he did not have to worry about not having enough wealth. Before this, Fan Ping was still a little worried. It was only about 40 million points. If the House of Gold was destroyed, it would cost tens of millions. When the battle started, replenishing the imperishable substance once would consume hundreds of thousands of points. Tens of millions was really not enough. Now it was all right. He had more confidence when he entered the catacombs. Fang Ping grinned. In his heart, he was calculating. Should he think of a way to achieve peak rank 6 quickly and use the sunflower seeds as an excuse to enter commander level quickly? Only rank 7 martial artists were considered powerhouses in the catacombs. Otherwise, middle-ranked martial artists would be nothing but bystanders when they went to the restricted area. Everything is ready. I'm only missing one thing. Fang Ping's heart was at ease. He did not stop. At this moment, he still had close to 1,500 caddies of energy liquids in his hands. Tomorrow, when he saw Li Yi and the rest, he would give Foam Extermination 500 caddies. He did not believe that these people did not care about this. Sunflower had saved up for more than 100 years. He was a rank 8 powerhouse after all. Did Foam Extermination and the rest have so much savings? I'll give it to you guys first. When I'm about to leave, I'll kill you guys and take it back. I still have to collect interest. Fan Ping was also a person who was willing to invest. He used benefits to pave the way. In this day and age, if you did not spend money, who would work for you? Old Zhang was like this. The catacombs were even more so. Genius in a second, remember this site's address. Mobile version. Chapter 721. In the blink of an eye, the sky brightened. Fan Ping hated the alternation between day and night in the catacombs. There were no signs, no preparations, no rising sun, no setting sun, no dawn. It was as if a black curtain had been lifted in an instant. The transition between night and day happened in the blink of an eye. When he said it would be daybreak, it would be daybreak. It was so fast that one would be surprised. City Lord Residence. Although the City Lord's mansion was called a mansion, it was actually an incomparably large palace. Outside the main hall of the City Lord's mansion was an incomparably huge square, which was also a martial arts arena. The training field was lower than the main hall. To walk from the training field to the main hall, one had to pass through a flight of stairs that was 100 meters long and more than 10 meters high. At this moment, on the stairs outside the main hall, the governor of Monster Sunflower City stood proudly in the center, while Feng Miexing and Li stood on his left. The remaining rank 8 and rank 7 commanders of Monster Sunflower City stood on the right. Thousands of young men and women had gathered in the martial arts arena below. Martial artists did not have a high age requirement, but regardless of whether it was the catacombs or the human world, 30 years of age was usually the limit. After 30 years of age, one would have passed the golden age of practicing martial arts. Unless he had a mine at home, he could use large amounts of life essence to reforge his bones and restore his vitality. Old Man Li's rapid improvement was actually related to the time when he had broken down and reforged his bones. The young men and women below were generally under 30 years old. As long as they weren't too obvious, they wouldn't be noticed. At this moment, these young men were looking at the crowd above them with reverence. In the catacombs, there was a clear hierarchy. Some of these people came from villages outside Royal City, some came from affiliated cities, and some came from outside Royal City. Usually, they almost never had the chance to come into contact with these high-ranked powerhouses. Today, however, there were more than 10 high-ranked powerhouses here. Yes! On the high platform, a 6th-grade battle general shouted. In the next moment, more than 1,000 people below half knelt and said loudly, "Greetings, Your Majesty! Rise!" The general shouted again. Everyone rose to their feet. At this time, Monster Sunflower City Lord slowly said, 10 spots. Everyone knows what a spot represents. Power, strength, wealth, and immortality. In the past 3 years, 5 years, perhaps even 10 years, there would only be a single opportunity. Today, I will give everyone a chance to compete with their own strength. As soon as he finished speaking, everyone in the martial arts practice field half knelt once more and thanked him loudly. The general who spoke before roared. 1080 people, 108 to a group. 10 arenas, 1 person per arena. The winner gets the spot. The rules were simple and crude. Standing on the high platform, Fan Ping's expression was calm, but his heart was filled with emotions. These powerhouses from the catacombs were rather straightforward. Under the rough arrangement of the Imperial Guards, the crowd was quickly divided into 10 groups. 10 arenas rose from the martial arts practice field. One of the generals shouted again. Life or death, only 1 person will remain on each platform. Get on the stage. With that, more than 1,000 people stepped onto the arena. As soon as he stepped onto the stage, screams of agony rang out. A rank 5 martial artist had just gone up when he was attacked by more than 10 people around him at the same time, instantly turning into minced meat. Fan Ping's expression did not change. Like the people around him, he remained indifferent. However, his heart was filled with awe. The catacombs were so ruthless. There were no rules. 108 people in one arena. If only 1 person remained, the number of casualties would not be low. With such a ruthless selection method, the elites selected would not be too weak. And such elites had all entered the Forbidden Zone. The Forbidden Zone might be more dangerous than he thought. These foreign elites had all gone to the Forbidden Zone. The people he had killed in the martial arts arena last time were only middle ranks. They might not be true elites. The foreign territories sent a large number of elites to the Forbidden Zone every year. These people might have broken through to high ranks long ago. 10 arenas, killing broke out in an instant. Broken limbs were quickly scattered all over the arena. These people were all ruthless enough. In the foreign territories, Fan Ping and the others rarely met elites. Fan Ping suspected that some of them had entered the Forbidden Zone, and some of them had probably died in the hands of their own people. If this kind of competition happened once a year, who knew how many young talents would die? Raising bugs. This was the real way to raise bugs. And the king of goo that was raised had all gone to the Forbidden Zone. This made Fan Ping even more vigilant. He could not underestimate the Forbidden Zone's strength just because it went smoothly in the martial arts arena last time. While Fan Ping was watching the competition, there were 2 people standing next to him, a man and a woman. 10 people were selected from below the stage. Besides that, there were 3 people from Monster Sunflower City who had entered through the back door. These 3 people, plus the 10 people below the stage, were 13 people competing for 12 spots. It was almost guaranteed entry. Privilege was everywhere, and it was reflected even more clearly in the catacombs. In Fan Ping's eyes, Kui Ming's identity might not be much, but in the eyes of others, the son of a rank 8 powerhouse was the real crown prince, aristocrat, high and mighty. For a person like him, it was only right that he was guaranteed entry. Fan Ping was still watching the competition. Beside him, the female martial artist looked at Fan Ping with a coquettish smile and said, Kui Ming, did you break through to upper stage warlord last night? Although Fan Ping did not know this woman, he had asked about the situation of a few people who were guaranteed entry. There was a man and a woman. The man was called Red Alder, and the woman was called Hua Bailong. Red Alder was the grandson of another rank 8 powerhouse in Monster Sunflower City, not the son. Hua Bailong was the daughter of a rank 7 commander-in-chief. Both of them were also rank 6. However, Red Alder was middle stage rank 6, while Hua Bailong was only early stage rank 6. Fan Ping heard the woman's conversation with him, and said lightly, I broke through by luck. Congratulations. Hua Bailong did not mind his coldness. She said with a face full of smiles, Kui Ming, you should be able to become a commander-level powerhouse in no time. When that time comes, don't forget about me. Fan Ping did not say anything. Beside him, Red Alder, the long-haired young man, frowned slightly and said softly, Bailong, young Commander Kui Ming is a peerless prodigy of Monster Sunflower City. When he reaches the royal court, will he still think of us? After saying that, he sneered with a hint of mockery. I heard that last night, young Commander Kui Ming used up all of Venerable Kui's life stones. His 100 years of savings were used up in an instant. Only then did he break through to upper stage warlord. How extravagant! When these words were said, Hua Bailong was slightly embarrassed. She did not say anything. Kuei Ming and Red Alder were both descendants of rank 8 venerables. The two of them had not been on good terms for a long time. In addition, Kuei Luo and Red Alder's grandfather were not on good terms either. Both of them had always been at odds. Now that Kuei Ming had broken through, his rank was higher than Red Alder's. However, everyone now knew why Kuei Ming had broken through. He had used up countless life stones and all the savings of a venerable powerhouse to break through to upper stage warlord. In the eyes of everyone, this was not worthy of admiration. Especially in Red Alder's opinion, Kuei Ming's actions were simply ridiculous. Tens of thousands of life stones. His grandfather did not even have that many savings. The Hong family had many descendants. It was not like Kuei Luo, who was a loner and only had one son. After many years of consumption, when it came to Red Alder's generation, he could only receive 3 rank 9 life stones every month. Ever since he was young, the number of life stones he had used was not as much as what Kuei Ming had used last night. Even so, Kuei Ming was only 1 rank higher than him. Of course, Red Alder was not convinced. When he heard that Kuei Ming was valued by the 2 royal highnesses, Red Alder was very dissatisfied. He was younger than Kuei Ming and had much less resources than him. However, their ranks were similar, and his combat strength was slightly higher than Kuei Ming's. If Kuei Ming had not relied on his strong flattery skills and heard that he had attacked a venerable yesterday, how could he compare to him? Red Alder had sparred with Kuei Ming many times. He was very clear about Kuei Ming's strength. As for attacking a venerable powerhouse, it was Kuei Ming's father who had restrained the other party. Red Alder even suspected that venerable Kuei Luo had deliberately created such an opportunity for him for Kuei Ming. It was to let the 2 royal highnesses witness this scene, so that Kuei Ming could enter their discerning eyes. Fan Ping naturally heard the disdain in Red Alder's tone. He could even feel that the high-ranked powerhouses in front were also paying attention. Fan Ping's eyes turned slightly. Suddenly, he said in a low voice, "King, your royal highnesses! There are 12 people entering the royal court this time, and there's 1 more person. In order to save everyone's time, why don't I spar with Red Alder? The loser will be disqualified." If possible, Fan Ping wanted to eliminate both Red Alder and Hua Bailong. Both of them knew Kuei Ming. In fact, they were quite familiar with each other. Fan Ping was worried that he would be exposed if he was with them. However, there was only 1 more person now. Hua Bailong was only the daughter of a rank 7 commander. Her strength was slightly weaker, and she did not seem to be very hostile towards Kuei Ming. It would be best if Red Alder could be eliminated. A fellow who was hostile to him would definitely be paying attention to him. If he was not careful, he would be easily discovered. After all, he was not the real Kuei Ming. The monster Sunflower City Lord turned his head and glanced at them, not saying a word. Li Yi, on the other hand, looked interested. She said playfully, "You want to spar? Your Royal Highness, I have never been on good terms with Red Alder. I'm not willing to enter the royal court with him." Fan Ping was being straightforward. Superiors were all like this. They hated petty people who played tricks on them. Those who were simple and honest were more likable. As soon as he said this, Red Alder's face turned ashen. He hurriedly cupped his hands and said, "King, your Royal Highnesses, I am willing to spar with Kuei Ming to determine the quota." As soon as he said this, the rank 8 powerhouse standing next to the monster Sunflower City Lord frowned slightly. He had seen Fan Ping's saber yesterday. Quite valiant. His own grandson might not be a match for him. The quota for the restricted area was hard to come by. The rank 8 powerhouse beside Monster Sunflower City's City Lord was livid. Kuei Ming had killed Red Alder with 1 slash. He was furious, but Li Yi and Feng Miexing did not care about this. Feng Miexing could not help but take a few more glances at Fan Ping. He smiled and said, Not bad at all. You seem to be stronger than yesterday. It seems that the breakthrough did not cause you to lose control of your strength. Monster Sunflower City has produced a true genius this time. Lee also smiled faintly. Trash is dead, so be it. Venerable Red, it's just the death of a trash descendant. Just give birth to a few more. I have made the decision to let your Hong family send another person to the royal court. Kui Ming, well done! Venerable Red's face was livid. At this moment, he suppressed his anger and forced a smile. Thank you, Your Highness, for fulfilling my wish. At this moment, Monster Sunflower City's City Lord looked at Fang Ping. After a while, he nodded slightly. When you go to the royal court, don't embarrass Monster Sunflower City. I didn't expect that you would improve so much in just a few days. Fang Ping thanked him hurriedly, and did not say anything else. As for Red Alder, he was only a middle-stage rank 6 martial artist. So be it if he was killed. With Monster Sunflower City's City Lord and Feng Yeshing around, Fang Ping believed that no matter how bold Venerable Red was, he would not dare to attack him. Besides, F*CK, he had to work when he was paid. He went to visit Feng Yeshing and Venerable Red Alder early in the morning and gave each of them about 500 caddies of energy liquid. Both of them looked as if nothing had happened. Who knew how excited they were? He had killed a middle-ranked martial artist. If they did not say a few words, would they be worthy of the energy liquid he gave them? Coincidentally, he could also display his strength so that both of them would think more of him. He also got rid of Red Alder to prevent any problems from arising. After killing Red Alder with one slash, Fang Ping glanced at Hua Bairong from the corner of his eye. Hua Bairong's pretty face had turned pale. Sensing Fang Ping's gaze on her, the fear on her face quickly turned into a smile, a fawning look on her face. She did not expect Kui Ming's strength to improve so much that Red Alder was killed with one slash. On the other side, Fang Ping had dealt with Red Alder. Below the stage, the 10 arenas were also extremely bloody. In a short period of time, more than 100 people had died out of more than 1,000 people. There were also some injured people who fell off the arena, wailing incessantly. After close to half an hour, the 10 arenas had more or less decided on the victors. Even the victors were now riddled with wounds. Some were even on their last breaths. Looking at these people's faces full of anticipation, Feng Yeshing suddenly said lightly on the stage. In the 1st, 5th, and 9th arenas, the victors' injuries are too severe. They will be disqualified. The other 7 people, plus Kui Ming and 1 person from the Red family, 10 people is just right. Monster Sunflower City's City Lord frowned slightly. Very quickly he smiled and said, Arrange for 2 more people. As you wish. Feng Yeshing did not mind. Previously he had promised 12 people. Arranging for 2 more people was not a big deal. However, he did not want to stay here for long. He did not want to waste time either. Very quickly he said, Get these people to pack up. We'll leave immediately and return to the palace in a while. Monster Sunflower City's City Lord did not delay either. He glanced at the chieftain beside him. The chieftain quickly went to make the arrangements. As for whether the 3 severely injured victors were unwilling, it was not within their consideration. If their injuries were too severe, they would have to spend a lot of resources to help them heal. The catacombs' powerhouses were not so kind. Fang Ping saw this scene and heard these words. Although his expression did not change, his heart was filled with emotions. This was the catacombs. Reality chilled one's heart. At this moment, he could really understand why the various cities in the catacombs rarely joined forces. In such a realistic catacombs, without a powerhouse's forceful order, unless it was a matter of life and death, how could they join forces? The true kings in the true King Hall were reluctant to break the Imperial Sea Mountains blockade. This was probably what they were thinking. If not for the temptation of the Seed of Rebirth, these true kings might not be willing to take the risk to fight with human powerhouses. Although the Seed of Rebirth was tempting, some of the true kings were probably hesitant. Just convincing these true kings alone was not something that could be done in a short period of time. In the catacombs, there must be a powerhouse who organized all of this. Otherwise, the catacombs should be in a state of disunity, each doing their own thing. The Hall Master? Or the Lord? Fang Ping judged in his heart. To make the powerhouses form an alliance, there must be a powerhouse in the middle who organized and planned it. Maybe, if this organization's powerhouse is killed, then the catacombs will disperse. Fang Ping thought again in his heart. Once the organizer of such a group of selfish powerhouses was killed, the others might quickly retreat. Is it the Hall Master of the true King Hall? Fang Ping felt that this should be the case. The Lord of the Monster Plant's royal court was not even a true king. It might be difficult to do this. Besides, this lord had not been in power for many years. Previously, the catacombs had the intention to attack humans. It should not be the Lord's plan. However, in the past 100 years, the increase in wars was probably related to this lord. 100 years ago, wars between both sides were rare. At that time, there were fewer catacombs entrances and fewer wars. Those true king powerhouses were probably waiting for the passageways to be fully opened. They might not be thinking about the outbreak of war, but they were waiting for the arrival of the last moment. When the Monster Plant's royal court's lord took the position, there would be more wars. Old Zhang was right. That fellow was very ambitious. However, it was also because of the many wars that the human martial arts world came into being. Otherwise, without pressure, there would not be the emergence of the neo-martial era. I don't know if I should be grateful or hate, Fang Ping muttered to himself. The Monster Plant's royal court's lord triggered the war, which allowed the two paragons of Star Town to start the neo-martial era. From 10,000 martial artists back then, it became more than 2 million martial artists in Sino Nation today. In recent years, 3 paragons had been born. After that, there were martial arts universities, and then there were opportunities for civilians to come into contact with martial arts. About half an hour later, 12 people gathered in the main hall of the Castellan residence. Rank 6, including Fang Ping and Hua Beirong, there were a total of 9 people. The other 3 people were peak rank 5. Among them, Fang Ping's ability was the strongest, upper stage rank 6. The other 8 rank SIXS were middle stage and low stage. In the outer region, having rank 6 ability was considered not weak. Moreover, they were not too old. Even in the restricted zone, these people would be considered geniuses. There were so many paragons in Star Town, but there were not many rank SIXS below 30 years old. Just as everyone gathered, one of the 2 rank 8 martial artists who followed Feng Nieshing and Hua Beirong casually tossed something out. A small palace appeared outside the hall. Fang Ping's pupils contracted. Then, it lit up. Extravagant. A divine weapon. This small palace was actually a divine weapon. Fang Ping was looking, and so was Monster Sunflower City's city lord. After a while he laughed. What a treasure! Made from the cores of 3 venerable beasts, and of the same origin. Rare, too rare! 3 rank 8 beasts, and of the same clan. This was extremely rare. Under normal circumstances, if a divine weapon was made from the core of a heart and brain, and not from the same beast's core, there would be conflict. There might even be an explosion. However, if 3 rank 8 beasts were from the same clan, there would be no such taboo. This small palace was equivalent to 3 rank 8 divine weapons. In fact, it was even more expensive because 3 rank 8 beasts of the same clan were too rare. This plaything was slightly inferior to the average rank 9 divine weapon. Rank 9 divine weapons were also divided into strong and weak ones. Weak ones were made from rank 9 demon cores, while those were made from Origin Path Demon Clan demon cores. This palace was at least comparable to a rank 9 divine weapon made from Origin Path Demon Clan demon cores. Li laughed. City Lord, you must be joking. It's just a means of transportation. 30 years ago, the Monkey clan invaded the royal land. My father ordered the gods to exterminate the Monkey clan. After that, this palace was built. Li explained briefly and did not say much. Monster Sunflower City's city lord did not ask further. He quickly turned to look at Fang Ping and the rest, saying sternly, "When you go to the restricted zone and enter the royal court, you must listen to the orders of the two royal highnesses. If you overstep your boundaries, you will die." "Yes, sir," everyone agreed. Li leaped up and flew to the top of the palace. The other high ranks flew up to the palace one after another. "Go up!" a rank 7 powerhouse scolded, asking Fan Ping and the rest to follow. Fan Ping and the rest also leaped up and stepped into the palace. A rank 8 powerhouse controlled the palace. It flew away from Monster Sunflower City in the blink of an eye. At the same time, the backyard of the city lord's residence, Quiluo still came out of seclusion. He watched the palace fly away from him, his face full of disappointment. When the subordinate beside him reported that Fang Ping had almost emptied the treasury, what greeted him was not Quiluo scolding Fang Ping, but a palm strike, smashing the reporting martial artist into a pulp. "Noisy!" Quiluo's face was full of impatience. His son had entered the restricted zone and entered the royal court. He had a bright future. What was a mere treasury to him? In the future, he would be in charge of the restricted zone's large city or come to the outland to become a king. How could today compare? In the past, he thought that his son lacked courage. However, yesterday he had used a saber on a venerable, and today he had killed the red alder. Quiluo was very pleased. If he was not ruthless, how could he establish himself? Looking at the city lord's main hall in front of him, Quiluo's face revealed a cold smile. Venerable Red Leaf had caused trouble for him several times. The king also had a grudge against him because of the previous incident. But now, his son was valued by the two royal highnesses. Once he could become a true king's disciple, even the king would have to give him some face in the future. "When my son has established himself in the royal court, I will go to the restricted zone. I will no longer be under your control." Quiluo's thoughts were beautiful. These few times, he had narrowly escaped death a few times. He had already developed the idea of escaping the outland. After participating in the war for more than a year, he had narrowly escaped death several times. Chapter 722. The palace sped past. This time, Feng Yeshing and the rest did not come only from Monster Sunflower City. Magic City Catacombs had 13 cities. Now there were 12 cities. There were still 5 Monster Plant Clan cities. All 5 royal cities had people entering the restricted area. However, the number of people varied. When they reached the last city, there were exactly 50 martial artists. In the palace, there was more than one room. Everyone gathered in the main hall. Li looked bored. Sitting on the throne in the main hall, he said casually, "Mu-He, tell them about the royal courts so that we don't have to waste our breath when we go in." As soon as Li finished speaking, a rank 7 martial artist standing behind him glanced at Fang Ping and the rest, shouting, "Listen up! I'll only say it once. If you don't hear me clearly when you enter the restricted area and reach the royal court, don't blame me for not making myself clear." The restricted area has 4 royal courts. Aside from the Demon Royal Court, there are 2 other royal courts, Sky Plant and Destiny. Under the royal court, there are 36 dynasties. Only those with true kings are worthy of being called dynasties. Similar to dynasties are divine sects. There are countless sects in the restricted area. Divine sects also have true kings. Within the Sky Plant Royal Court, there are 8 divine sects and 12 affiliated dynasties. Fan Ping's expression did not change. He actually wanted to ask if the true kings of these sects and dynasties were counted in the True King Palace. If they were not, then it would be terrifying. Even if the lowest was a true king, there would be 20 more true king powerhouses. However, these people in the catacombs were cruel. Fan Ping did not want to stand out, lest he was implicated. Fortunately, Commander Mu-He said quickly, "In the royal court, there is the True King Palace. All true kings in the territory enter the True King Palace. There are 49 true kings in the True King Palace. divine sects and dynasties were founded by true kings. As for the other true kings, some cultivate in seclusion, some roam the divine land. The true king palace does not care about worldly affairs. The royal court is ruled by the Lord of Kings. There are countless cities under his jurisdiction. In the divine land, which is the restricted area in your eyes, the cities are not like the outskirts. Any city can be called a royal city, the rank 7 commander said disdainfully. In the royal court, there is only one royal city, Sky Plant City. Below the imperial city was the imperial city. The city lords of the imperial city were all divine generals. With a population of over 10 million, this was the true imperial city. There are 360 royal cities under the jurisdiction of the royal court. Fan Ping's heart skipped a beat. There were at least 360 rank 9 powerhouses. They were formidable indeed. A royal city with a population of 10 million would have to have a population of at least 3.6 billion. Commander Mu, he continued. Under the royal city, there are millions of people, and high-ranked powerhouses keeping watch. That's the capital city. There were over 1,000 capital cities under the imperial court's jurisdiction. The other small cities are not included in the ranks of the large cities. They are under the jurisdiction of the various capital cities and royal cities. Fan Ping cursed in his heart. Zhang Peng's words were indeed unreliable. More than 1,000 capital cities. There were at least 1 billion people. The population of the capital cities was at least 5 billion, and this did not include the small cities and scattered villages and towns. There was also the imperial city, which probably had even more people. Based on the calculations, the population should at least double. The ratio of the rural population to the urban population should be about 1:1, right? 10 billion. Just the Sky Plant Royal Court alone had a population of over 10 billion. Zhang Ping actually said that the entire Forbidden Land only had a population of about 10 billion. What nonsense! Of the 4 great royal courts, the Monster Plant Court and the Monster Life Royal Court were all human martial artists, so the 2 royal courts should be about the same. That would be 20 billion. Did he include dynasty? Was divine sect included? If he didn't count, there were so many empires and sects. At a rough estimate, the population of the Forbidden Zone was at least 30 billion. 10 billion, 30 billion. It didn't sound like there was much of a difference, but the number of people multiplied by several times. The more people there were, the more experts there would be. Fan Ping estimated conservatively that there were no less than 500 rank 9s in the Monster Plant's royal court. As for rank 7 and 8, perhaps it could reach the level of 10,000 people. 108 outer regions, more than 1,000 cities. Not counting the demons, there are more than 1,000 rank 9 city lords. There won't be fewer rank 9s in the restricted area than in the outer domain. There will only be more. It's normal for there to be more than 500 rank 9s in the Monster Plant Royal Court. Fan Ping felt extremely helpless at the thought of this. The difference was huge. On the human side, there were more than 200 people on the rank 9 powerhouse ranking list. Including those from the Holy Lands and those who weren't on the list, he could count them as 300. But what about the catacombs? In the Forbidden Zone and outer regions, the catacombs human rank 9 had at least more than 2,000 people. Excluding the demons, if he counted them, there would be at least 4,000 to 5,000. No wonder those fellows in the Forbidden Zone did not feel much when a few rank 9s died. On Tiannan's side, there were a lot of rank 9s who died in battle. It was the same for the Forbidden Catacombs. In the end, those true king powerhouses did not seem to care too much. The number of rank 9 powerhouses was more than the human rank 7, 8, and 9 put together. Rank 9s are really everywhere, Fan Ping calculated in his heart. Then, he felt relieved. The area of the Forbidden Zone was too big. It was comparable to the size of 600 Sino Nation. Sino Nation had accumulated 40 to 50 rank 9s for 100 years. If the Forbidden Zone was calculated according to the area, then there should be tens of thousands of rank 9 powerhouses. If he calculated according to the time, Sino nation had accumulated for 100 years. The other side had accumulated for almost 1,000 years. If it was multiplied by 10 times, then there should be tens of thousands of rank 9s. Now that he calculated, Fang Ping felt disdain in his heart. So weak. He did not care about the population base. The catacombs was indeed quite weak. The cultivation environment was so good. The place was so big. After such a long time, there were actually only a few thousand rank 9s. It would be strange if they were not weak. Before this, he thought that it was a lot. Now, it seemed that the catacombs people were really useless. While Fang Ping was disdainful, Commander Mu he did not know what he was thinking. He continued, "This time, when you enter Divine Land, you will gather with geniuses from other territories. The royal court does not prohibit you from entering dynasty or sections. You can even join some royal city. Originally, the one who will receive you will only be a commander-level martial artist. This time, the two highnesses have come to the 7th Southern Territory. It is also your blessing. If you are lucky, you may be able to enter the royal city. After you pass Imperial Sea Mountain, you must think carefully about where to go. Dynasty and Divine Sect may not be better than royal city. Divine Sect may not be stronger than some small and medium-sized sects. Because if you go to Divine Sect, you may only be servants. If you go to Dynasty, you may be conscripted into the army and become soldiers. It is up to you. Also, now that the royal court has established Dynasty College, if you are lucky, you may be able to enter Dynasty College." Fang Ping's eyes moved slightly. Li seemed to have seen Li, who had been silent all this while. She said playfully, "Others may not know, but Monster Sunflower City should know. The opponent you will be facing is from an academy called MC Mayu. Academy. This is also the martial arts cultivation place that my father has been preparing in recent years. Academies are very similar to sects, but they are not very similar. In sects, it is taught by master and disciple. Each person only teaches one path, and each person only respects one master. In the academy, the master can be different. If you have the ability, you can have countless masters. The academy teachers have no right to order you. You only have to listen to the royal court's orders." Fang Ping's heart skipped a beat. Was the royal lord cultivating his own people? This was his first thought. Academies sounded like they were reforming and learning from humans. In reality, Fang Ping felt that it was more like the royal lord was collecting power and cultivating his own henchmen. The royal court was too big. There were too many true kings. Those people from Divine Sect, Dynasty, and even people from Royal City and Capital City were too far away from the royal lord. They might not listen to the royal lord. The appearance of the academies was probably to recruit those genius martial artists and let them be used by the royal lord. Fang Ping was thinking about this. Beside him, Feng Yesheng said lightly, "It's not just Dynasty Academy. In recent years, many academies have appeared in the royal city. My Feng family has also established an academy, recruiting genius martial artists from Divine Land and various regions. My ancestor is a true king powerhouse. Sometimes, he enters the academy to preach. Of course, trash can't enter the academy either." As soon as these words were said, everyone was extremely tempted. True king preaching? Martial artists did not care much about Tao, but that was only for those below rank 9. When they reached rank 9, if they wanted to walk out of their own Tao of origin, they must have some understanding in this aspect. At this stage, many people were actually at a loss. Even Wu Quishan, at peak rank 8, was at a loss in this aspect. He felt that he could not walk out of his own path. It was only after observing Rose City Lord's Tao of origin that he found his own path. A true king powerhouse had great foresight. Just a few words of advice might be able to help people gain something. Although it was not as effective as observing someone else's Tao of origin, for ordinary martial artists, a true king's preaching would be effective wherever they went to observe the Tao of origin. Everyone present was a prodigy martial artist from the 7 southern regions. who did not have some ambition. Would rank 8 be enough to satisfy these people? Not necessarily. When they reached rank 9, it would be completely different with a true king watching over them and without one. Beside him, Li did not seem to care too much about this. Fang Ping stared at his fingers. The fingers that were originally stretching naturally now seemed to be curled up slightly. This fellow seems like he might not be as indifferent as he appears. Fang Ping's heart stirred slightly. If Li were to flip out and be dissatisfied now, he would really think that this fellow was careless and a little useless. However, Li did not utter a word. Instead, it reminded Fang Ping of a saying. A dog that bites does not bark. Li's skills were not up to par yet. According to Fang Ping's thinking, since Feng Miexing was acting arrogant and despotic, this was the time to lose his temper. Feng Miexing was obviously snatching him away. You're still too inexperienced. You can only fool Feng Extermination a little. Fang Ping had not spoken all this while, but now he had a better understanding of the monster plant's royal court. The monster plant's royal court was vast and boundless. There were also countless experts. It was not only the catacombs humans. The monster plant's royal court called themselves the sky plant's royal court, and they were also related to the monster plant's demon clan. Many cities had demonic plants rooted in them. It was different from the outer realm, where the monster plant clan had monster plants. Meanwhile, in the restricted areas, this wasn't the case, only some cities like this. These monster plants were not under the jurisdiction of the monster plant royal court, but belonged to the guardian royal court. From Fang Ping's perspective, the guardian royal court was just a bunch of domesticated demons. In order to give himself some autonomy, they created a royal court to show their existence. The various great kings' cities had quite a bit of autonomy. They only needed to pay tribute to the royal court every year. Dynasty was not included in the 360 royal cities under the palace's jurisdiction. Dynasty had its own territory. But that included divine sect. The existence of the sects depended on the royal court. However, the royal cities near these sects would be taken over by the powerhouses of these sections. Not only that, some true king powerhouses also had their own royal territory. The so-called royal territory was a division of some territories for those true king powerhouses who had not established dynasties and divine sects. These people did not establish dynasties, but they still needed their own territories to support their clansmen or disciples. Hence, in the royal court, these true kings were divided into royal territories. Some true king territories were not small, covering more than 10 royal cities. In the royal court, they were nominally under the orders of the royal court, but in reality, it was still the true king who had the final say. In essence, there was not much difference between them and dynasty. If there was a difference, it was probably in name. One was a subsidiary dynasty. Although it was a subsidiary, its status was actually equal to the royal court. The other was directly under the royal court. Logically speaking, the royal court could appoint the royal city's city lord at will, but dynasty could not. The royal court could not interfere with the other party's affairs. There was another point. The people of dynasty could not inherit the position of king lord. However, the people of the royal court could, and so could the people of divine sects. Some true kings did not establish dynasties because they were afraid of trouble. Some had their eyes on the position of king lord, like Maple King. Commander Mu he did not say this out loud, but Fang Ping understood what he meant. At the end, Li suddenly laughed and said, "Speaking of which, some things in the land of rebirth are quite interesting. Before this, the royal court had never made a ranking. However, a few days ago, the true King Palace requested the royal court to make a ranking of high-ranked martial artists. Everyone, strive to enter commander level as soon as possible. If you can enter the ranking, even if you are a commander level, you can also become a city lord. You should know that the prosperity of a city is comparable to the outer royal city. In the outer royal court, how can a commander-level city lord be a city lord? However, in the royal court, if you can enter the ranking, becoming a city lord is a piece of cake. When that time comes, if your family wants to enter the royal court, there will be no more restrictions. There are also a few places for the city lord every year. Some of you have family and want to jump out of the outer royal court. This is your chance. Beside her, Feng Yeshing sneered. Li, you're overestimating them. Li smiled. I'm just saying. Maybe someone can enter. Feng Yeshing snorted and said lightly. There are 1,000 people in the commander-level ranking. In the royal court, there are more than 10,000 commander-level martial artists. This is only the Sky Plant Royal Court. This time, the ranking was made by the 4 royal courts together. In the 4 royal courts, the demons are stronger than us in the commander level. Humans and demons, there are no less than 50,000 commander-level powerhouses. It's not that simple. Fan Ping felt that he had gained some information again. Humans and demons, there were only 50,000 rank 7? That was not a lot. According to the ratio of 10 to 1, there were only 5,000 rank 8. According to the ratio of 10 to 1, there were even fewer rank 9. However, it was still the same saying, the accumulation of time. A rank 9 lived longer than a rank 8, and a rank 8 lived longer than a rank 7. Among the high ranks, rank 7 lived the shortest. Without a golden body, the flesh would still decay. At most, they could live for 300 years. On the other hand, it was not difficult for a rank 8 to live for more than 500 years. If not for accidental deaths, the number of deaths would be higher than this ratio. While Fan Ping was memorizing this information, Li smiled and said, That's true. Even you, Mieshing, have not entered. It is indeed difficult for them. Feng Mieshing's expression was ugly. His gaze was sinister, as he said coldly, That's because I have just entered the commander level not long ago. Right now, I am only a middle-stage commander. Li, on the other hand, you have been a peak commander for some years, right? If you have not entered, how can I enter the ranking? Li seemed a little arrogant at this moment. She laughed loudly and said, I did not enter the ranking because there is no need for this. There is no need for me to prove anything. Feng Mieshing, on the other hand, you were defeated in the king's battleground previously. You need this more. Seeing that Feng Mieshing was about to lose his temper, Li changed the topic and said with a smile, Feng Mieshing, if Fan Ping came to God Land, with his ability, what do you think? Fan Ping! Feng Mieshing's expression was cold. After a while, he said slowly, I heard that he has already entered the venerable realm. If he is still a venerable, he is not qualified to enter the ranking. However, he has many tricks up his sleeves. If he is a commander, perhaps he can enter the bottom of the ranking. The bottom of the ranking? Li said playfully. I heard that he was ranked first in the land of rebirth. Feng Mieshing, you have underestimated him, haven't you? Feng Mieshing snorted softly. He was only able to kill a venerable with the cooperation of many people. It can't be. I heard that he entered first because he killed the 9 cities' gods general, Li. Feng Mieshing's expression changed drastically. He said coldly, Some things cannot be said recklessly. Uncle King's death in battle was not caused by Fan Ping. He died in the hands of King Gu's son. Li laughed loudly. Don't be angry. I heard it from others. I was not at the scene, how would I know the truth? However, I am quite interested in Fan Ping. It's a pity that I did not meet him this time. The true King's Highness has issued an order to kill Fan Ping on sight. It's a pity that he does not dare to enter the Outland now. He does not dare to go to the King's battleground either. I have no chance to meet him. Feng Mieshing sneered. He can't hide for long. If he doesn't enter Godland now, when the war starts, he will be killed in the land of rebirth sooner or later. That day at the King's battleground, if Ji Yao had not interfered, he would have been killed long ago. Beside him, Fan Ping was mentally exhausted. Boast. Continue boasting. It's lucky that I'm here. Otherwise, no one would know that you're boasting. Kill me long ago? If I had not met you, I would have killed you long ago. You're so scared that you wet your pants. When I killed Feng Qing, This guy ran away. How could he have a chance to speak now? I didn't hide. I'm right under your nose. Fang Ping was pleased. Look, you hate me so much. I'm right in front of you. Are you convinced? If not for the big plan, Fang Ping could have killed him right now. Although there were 2 rank 8s here, one of them looked like a rank 8 rank 3 and the other a rank 8 rank 5. The rank 8 rank 5 was controlling the palace. The rank 8 rank 3 could not stop Fang Ping. If Fang Ping killed Feng Yexing instantly, it would not be a problem for him to escape. That's good too. Even a piece of trash like you can look down on me. It's good to spread the news. Who knows, the other people in the restricted area might really believe it and think that I'm not even as good as Feng Yexing. It's better for them to look down on me. While everyone was talking, Imperial Sea Mountain arrived. The rank 8 powerhouse kept the palace. Everyone landed on the ground. Although everyone lived in the outland, there were not many who had actually seen Imperial Sea Mountain. Beside Fang Ping, Hua Baron was shocked. She murmured, "Is this Imperial Sea Mountain? It's spectacular." Just like the first time Fang Ping saw Imperial Sea Mountain, everyone present was extremely shocked. It was not that they had never seen mountains before. However, they had never seen this kind of huge, endless mountain with no end in sight. Beside him, Commander Mu he said proudly, "Even a true king can't cross Imperial Sea Mountain. Without His Highness's guidance, even if you make it to Imperial Sea Mountain, don't even think about entering God Land for the rest of your lives." This time, a peak rank 6 martial artist in the crowd whispered, "Commander Mu, rumor has it that Imperial Sea Mountain was built to defend against the Forbidden Sea. Is the rumor true?" Mu he frowned slightly. In front, Li Yi, who was walking toward the Grand Canyon, said lazily, "It's probably true. No one knows if it's true or not. The Forbidden Sea is indeed very dangerous. It also has the tendency to invade the outland. However, after so many years, the demons in the Forbidden Sea have not come ashore, nor have they continued to expand. Perhaps it's already fixed. Moreover, even if they invade, it's nothing. There are countless powerhouses in God Land. How many true king demons are there in the Forbidden Sea?" As Li spoke, she smiled faintly. "It's only because of the invasion of the Land of Rebirth powerhouses in recent years. Otherwise, the royal court would have gone to the Forbidden Sea a long time ago. I heard that there are countless treasures in the Forbidden Sea." As Li spoke, Feng Yexing looked disdainful. This fellow wanted to boast about his old man again. Going to the Forbidden Sea? Back then, the royal lord had suggested this. The prerequisite was to defeat the true king of the Land of Rebirth. However, very few true monarchs responded. Not only did they wage war against the Land of Rebirth's true king, they even wanted to conquer the Forbidden Sea. During the era of the 2 kings, when the Imperial Sea Mountain was established, even the 2 kings were extremely vigilant towards the Forbidden Sea. How could the Forbidden Sea be conquered so easily? No one knew how many demons there were in the sea. It wasn't that the Imperial Court hadn't explored the Forbidden Sea before. Although many places in the outer region had been sealed and true monarchs couldn't enter or leave, the Forbidden Sea was still a place that had been sealed. But the 108 domains were not all. There was a section of the Imperial Sea Mountain that led directly to the Forbidden Sea. The Forbidden Zone was surrounded by the Imperial Sea Mountain and was roughly oval in shape. Outside the Imperial Sea Mountain was the 108 outer domains. Outside the 108 outer domains, there was a region without land, which was the Forbidden Sea. The Monster Plant Royal Court also had an area connected to this sea. It wasn't that there weren't any experts who went to explore the Forbidden Sea, but in the end, they either died or were injured. Even the true monarchs were extremely vigilant and didn't dare to rashly go out to sea. It was not true that the Lord wanted to conquer the Forbidden Sea, but it was true that he wanted to seize the opportunity to break the blockade of the Land of Rebirth. As they spoke, they arrived at the Royal Sea Mountain. It was a grand canyon that was similar to the Forbidden Catacombs. In the canyon's passageway, An old man who looked like a fossil opened his eyes abruptly. Feng Yeshin glanced at him and sneered. "What are you looking at? Open the passageway! A god general level martial artist dares to block the passageway. If not for the fact that I can't be bothered, I would have killed you long ago. You've got guts." The old man did not speak. He glanced at Fang Ping and the rest, got up slowly, and walked towards the passageway's boundary wall. This was the powerhouse who was overseeing the human side. The 7th Southern Territory did not have absolute monarch overseeing it. There was only this old man. The old man did not exist to stop the true king from entering. His only purpose in overseeing this place was to observe the movements of the people from the Forbidden Zone. If the people from the Forbidden Zone went to the outer domain cities, he would not care. However, if they went to the bounded boundaries, he would immediately think of a way to inform the top powerhouses. If the people from the Forbidden Zone went to the bounded boundaries, it usually meant that they had obtained the token and wanted to try to enter. When that happened, Sino Nation would also send people in to stop them. As for being mocked by Feng Yexing, the old man did not care. There were no top powerhouses here. Although he was a rank 9 powerhouse, he could not attack the people from the Forbidden Zone recklessly. Especially such an important figure. Otherwise, it would easily cause unforeseen events. The old man began to open the passageway. Feng Yexing was still sneering. He looked at Fang Ping and the rest and said, "When the land of rebirth's true king is defeated in the future, these people will definitely die. These fellows are just watchdogs. They may be god general level martial artists, but they are nothing." The old man said nothing. On Feng Yexing's side, the 2 rank 8 martial artists were extremely vigilant, not daring to be careless. After all, this person was a god general. If he attacked suddenly without caring about anything else, it would be very dangerous. In the crowd, Fang Ping glanced at the old man. He did not know him. He was not familiar with him. He did not even know his name. However, the other party had overseen this place for God knows how many years, enduring loneliness. Now, even when he was scolded by someone like Feng Yexing, he did not say a word and endured the humiliation. Fang Ping suddenly felt a little uncomfortable. The old man was not a top powerhouse. If Feng Yexing dared to scold him, only death awaited him. However, the old man was not, so he could only endure everything. Overseeing this place was actually the most dangerous. If the true king crossed borders, these people would be the first to die. The true king of the catacombs might not necessarily follow the rules. If the human powerhouses did not come to help in time, then these martial artists guarding the passageways would die without a doubt. Sino Nation only has a total of 15 top powerhouses. The 3 ministers are often on the ground. 12 top powerhouses guarding 24 passageways. One person needs to guard 2 places. No wonder they feel so pressured. Fang Ping sighed in his heart. It was not easy for one person to guard 10,000 miles. They had to guard day and night. If they were not careful, a true king would enter. Once they entered, it would be a massacre. At the very least, the human cities in the outer region would be destroyed. The pressure these top powerhouses faced was probably incomparably huge. It was still all right in the past, when many passageways were not opened. When they entered, the passageways were almost all opened. The top powerhouses were far from enough. If I want to truly guard the Sino Nation area, I need at least 24 top powerhouses. There's still one passageway that hasn't been opened. Only 25 top powerhouses will be enough. He was short of 10 people. In the past 100 years, Sino Nation had only produced 3 desperate round powerhouses. At this rate, they would need at least 300 years. And 300 years. Could the catacombs still give humans 300 years? They could not wait any longer. While Fang Ping was thinking about these, the world wall had already opened. Feng Yexing and the rest entered the world wall carelessly. Before they entered, they were also unkind to the old man, laughing and scolding him constantly. Fang Ping followed them quietly, not looking at the old man. until they entered the passageway on the other side of the world wall. Fang Ping turned back to take a look. Although he could no longer see the old man in front of him, Fang Ping seemed to be able to see him. His figure was not tall, but it was like an ancient demon, holding up this piece of heaven and earth. Wait a little longer. After a few years I can go home. I don't have to guard here for countless years anymore. Magic City catacombs had been open for 61 years. Perhaps the old man had been guarding here for 61 years, or even earlier. Perhaps the old man was already guarding here before the catacombs opened. Ever since Mount Royal Sea, he had never left the catacombs. No matter how the wind and rain battered him, he had never left. Fang Ping's gaze turned to Feng Yeshing in front of him. This guy, he would kill him sooner or later. Initially, this idiot was so stupid that he did not have much intention to kill him. It would be a good thing if this idiot really became the lord of the royal court. However, this guy just had to talk. If Fang Ping did not kill him, he would feel suffocated. Chapter 723. After exiting Mount Royal Sea, the palace reappeared. Feng Yeshing and the others led the group and sped forward. On the way, Commander Mu He continued to introduce. We're going to the Qingyang capital city to rendezvous next. When we get there, you can freely choose where to go. Of course, if you're willing to be wandering warriors, that's up to you. The premise is that you can survive. Commander Mu He sneered. Could 50 middle-ranked martial artists survive within the borders of the royal court? Perhaps he could, but he definitely wouldn't be able to live a satisfactory life. There were too many high-ranked powerhouses here. You're just a wandering martial artist. Where are you going to find resources to cultivate? As he spoke, the rank 8 powerhouse controlling the palace suddenly paused, then said loudly, Your Highness Ji Yao, we're just passing by. We'll leave immediately. Come out! In front of them, a group of people flew through the air, blocking the way to the palace. Behind the Magic City catacombs was not the Monster Plant's Royal Court's territory, but the Monster Life Royal Courts. Magic City's catacombs were under the jurisdiction of the Green Wolf King. From this, it could be seen which palace was bordering it. Up ahead, Ji Yao seemed to be waiting for them. Fang Ping was surprised to hear Ji Yao's voice. A gathering of old acquaintances. So fast. He had thought that he might not be able to meet Ji Yao this time. After all, she was from the Demon Life Royal Court. As he thought about it, Li Yi and Feng Yeshing stood up and walked out of the palace. Fang Ping and the others did not follow him out. Instead, they walked to the palace's wide open door. In front of them, Ji Yao had brought quite a number of powerhouses with her. She swept a glance at Li Yi and the other man, saying coldly, Did you meet Fang Ping when you went to the 7th Southern Territory this time? Fang Ping felt helpless. You miss me that much? Li laughed. Ji Yao, Fang Ping wouldn't dare show his face. Besides, he wouldn't dare to show himself if I'm there. Humph. Ji Yao's face was filled with disdain. Who do you think you are? If it wasn't for the fact that your father dominated the region, do you think you're worthy of being mentioned in the same breath as me? As for Fang Ping being afraid of Li Yi, that was even more ridiculous. Ji Yao couldn't be bothered with him. She asked, Has anyone from Monster Sunflower City come? Li looked at Fang Ping. Fang Ping hurriedly walked out, treading the air. With a humble expression, he cupped his fists and said, General Kui Ming greets you, sir. You're from Monster Sunflower City? My father is the commander of Monster Sunflower City's Imperial Guards. Have you seen Fang Ping before? Fang Ping said hurriedly. I haven't seen him before, but my father and Fang Ping have fought before, so I've heard of him. You've fought before? Ji Yao's gaze flickered slightly, and she continued to ask. Your Heaven Plant's lineage has fought with MC Mayu many times, so you should have some understanding of MC Mayu. Let me ask you, how much do you know about Fang Ping's deeds? Did he have any relatives? Did he enter the 7 southern regions? I heard that Monsterwood City was breached by MC Mayu, and the main culprit was Fang Ping. Do you know how strong he was that day, and what was so special about him? Also, Monsterwood City has been forcibly occupied by MC Mayu. Is there anyone close to Fang Ping among them now? This woman had asked so many questions in a row, but Fang Ping's heart was slightly moved. Zhao Xingwu had escaped into the restricted area. Logically speaking, Zhao Xingwu still knew him quite well, and he also knew MC Mayu very well. If he wanted to know more about himself, Zhao Xingwu knew a lot. Moreover, the evil sect had colluded with the catacombs, so he should have some information. Ji Yao asked herself, was it because Zhao Xingwu did not say anything, or was it because the monster plant's royal court did not give her a chance? Fang Ping did not answer, but glanced at Li Yi. Li looked satisfied, smiling. Since Her Highness Ji Yao has asked, tell her everything you know. Yes, Fang Ping said quickly. I don't know much about Fang Ping, but I've heard some rumors. I haven't heard that he has relatives who entered the 7 southern regions, but MC Mayu's longevity sword is Fang Ping's teacher, and he's in the 7 southern regions now. Last night, longevity sword even attacked Monster Sunflower City. According to my father, during the battle in Monsterwood City that day, Fang Ping's strength was average, but he had an indestructible space cast by the golden imperishable substance, which could trap a beginner-stage venerable powerhouse for a moment. That day, my father broke through the space, but he was surrounded and killed by MC Mayu powerhouses, a space cast by imperishable substance. Ji Yao's expression changed slightly. She really did not know much about this. The last time she met Fang Ping was in the Forbidden Catacombs. At that time, Fang Ping's golden house was broken by someone in the Shishan Catacombs, so he did not reveal this. In the Shishan Catacombs, all the catacombs powerhouses who saw it were dead, so naturally, no one knew. However, Fang Ping had revealed it once during the battle at Sky Gate. Many people knew about this. Ji Yao said in a low voice, Can he trap a beginner-stage venerable martial artist? Fang Ping said hurriedly, That's right. My father is a middle-stage venerable martial artist, so he could break through the space that day. I'm afraid a beginner-stage venerable would be trapped for a moment. What was his strength at that time? Suspected to be a venerable. Fang Ping explained, My father said that it's hard to distinguish the other party's strength. At first, he was only a commander level, but he had a lot of imperishable substance, and he forged an indestructible body. Ji Yao knew about this. She pondered and said, If that's the case, now that he has a breakthrough, I'm afraid he can trap a middle stage or even an upper stage venerable martial artist? Previously in the Forbidden Catacombs, Fang Ping's strength was also extremely erratic, but it was true that he was stronger than her. However, at that time, she did not see the Golden House, so Fang Ping could not catch up to her. Thinking of this, Ji Yao asked again, Are you sure he doesn't have relatives in the 7 Southern Territory? Fang Ping's heart was filled with hatred. Was this woman thinking about his family? He would kill her sooner or later. I don't think so. Monster Sunflower City has not been involved in the war for a long time. I haven't heard that Fang Ping has relatives in the 7 Southern Territory. As for Longevity Sword, I heard that he has found the Myriad Dao Unification Cultivation Method. Do you know if it's true or not? Fang Ping hurriedly said, I don't know about this. Beside him, Li smiled and said, It's probably true. When Longevity Sword fought before and last night, there were no signs of his vitality draining, so the news should be accurate. Ji Yao's expression was uncertain. She said in a low voice, Li, let's go to the 7 Southern Territory again. Let the outlying cities join forces and kill Longevity Sword. I don't believe that Fang Ping will still hide after we kill Longevity Sword. Ji Yao, Li said sheepishly. Those city lords in the outlying cities might not listen to me. I still need my father's permission to do this. Useless, Ji Yao scolded. She looked at Feng Yeshing with an unfriendly expression and said coldly, You're also useless. those two pieces of trash actually let go of the longevity sword and the Snake King. If not for that, how could Fang Ping have escaped? Fang Ping was not the only one who had escaped. In order to kill Fang Ping, a true king from the True King Hall had fallen. Ji Yao's days had not been easy. Although the alliance with the Sky Plant's royal court was the idea of the True King Hall's true king, she was also the one who facilitated it. In the end, a true king had fallen. After the incident, the royal court was shaken, and she had suffered a lot. If not for her father's breakthrough to true king and her grandfather's position as the hall master, she might have been buried with him. The death of a true king powerhouse was not a small matter. It was also because of this that Ji Yao hated Fang Ping even more. It had become an inner demon. She would not be satisfied if she did not kill Fang Ping. Knowing that Feng Miexing and the rest had gone out to the outlying cities today and had even brought back people from Monster Sunflower City who had fought against MC Mayu head-on, Ji Yao immediately brought people to stop them and ask. Being scolded by Ji Yao, Li laughed dryly and did not reply. Feng Miexing, on the other hand, snorted. Don't talk about us. The last time you were in the 18th Southern Territory, didn't you also, Feng Miexing? Ji Yao's gaze was cold and fierce. She shouted, Don't think that I don't dare to kill you! This time, King Feng was the leader, but it was Black Jade's grandfather who died. Why wasn't True King Blue Moon the one who died? Ji Yao, how dare you? Are you questioning a true king? Feng Miexing was furious. Beside him, Li also said hurriedly, Ji Yao, you can't say such things. I'm saying such things? Ji Yao gritted her teeth. The Heavenly Plant's royal court and the Land of Rebirth have been at war for many years. If Warlord wants to kill someone, he should kill True King Blue Moon. In the end, the one who died was Black Jade's grandfather. For so many years, the Heavenly Plant's royal court has not lost a true king. The first time the Destiny Royal Court joined the war, they lost a true king powerhouse. Ji Yao was not the only one who was dissatisfied. The entire Destiny Royal Court was dissatisfied. How many years had the Heavenly Plant's royal court and humans been at war? After so many years, it was not that a true king had not died, but at least not in the past 100 years. 100 years ago, there had been. Fang Ping had always thought that the Heavenly King's suppressing king had only killed one desperate round monster beast. He did not know that a long time ago, the Heavenly King's suppressing king had also killed a true king powerhouse. But even so, that was a long time ago. Both sides had been at war for hundreds of years, and the Heavenly Plant's royal court had lost a true king. The first time the Destiny Royal Court fought, their goal was to restrain the other party. But in the end, they lost the true king. It was unbelievable. Ji Yao was angry, but Fang Ping was overjoyed. If that was the case, the aftermath was still there. His main purpose in coming to the restricted area this time was not to earn money, but to obtain some information and disrupt the alliance between the two royal courts. That was his main purpose. Ji Yao's indignant look seemed to make the entire Monster Life royal court uncomfortable. Do I have to pretend to be Ji Yao and kill Feng Mie and Li? Fang Ping calculated in his heart. Pretending to be Feng Mie and killing Ji Yao was not very reliable. Feng Mie was useless. He alone might not be able to kill Ji Yao. But pretending to be Ji Yao and killing Feng Mie, he had some confidence. The key is to pretend to be a woman. Fang Ping shuddered in his heart. He was not that kind of person. But, if the situation allowed it, it might not be impossible. Ji Yao was in the Monster Life Royal Court while Feng Mie was in the Monster Plant's Royal Court. The two royal courts were very far away from each other. No one would believe that he would run so far to someone else's royal court to kill someone important, no less. Thinking of this, Fang Ping looked around with his peripheral vision. Needless to say, now was actually an opportunity. If he made a move now when these people met, Fang Ping sighed in his heart. What a pity. There were still 2 rank 8s here. Ji Yao's side was even stronger. There were 3 rank 8s and there seemed to be a weak rank 9. Fan Ping was not too sure. The other's aura was not too strong, but it should be a rank 9. He could not kill so many people. If he had Old Man Li's ability, Fan Ping could attack now, kill these people, pretend to be one of them, and escape in the catacombs. It might trigger a war between the 2 royal courts. After all, there were 2 descendants of the royal court masters here, as well as Feng Mie, the descendant of a true king. Ji Yao was unhappy. Feng Mie was extremely unhappy too. He growled, "Ji Yao, are you saying that it's the king ancestor's fault? The king ancestor wants to kill Fan Ping more than anyone else." However, mysterious Jade True Monarch's unexpected death in battle was also out of the king ancestor's expectations. If not, Martial King and Pluto would not have left Mount Royal Sea. Ji Yao hated it. He hated it too. If it was not for mysterious Jade True Monarch's death in battle, which caused the True Kings and Destiny Royal Court to waver and eventually provoke the Life King and Heavenly King to fight across the air, the Pluto would not have left so quickly. If he did not go out, the Pope of the Land of Rebirth would not have to hide too much. He might have already killed Fan Ping. When Zhao Xingwu arrived at the Imperial City, although he did not say much, some of the things that happened that day were still very clear. They could not kill Fan Ping that day. On one hand, something happened in the 7th Southern Territory, causing 2 powerhouses to leave. On the other hand, mysterious Jade True Monarch's death caused Martial King and Pluto to leave Mount Royal Sea one after another. The Pope dared not show up, which allowed Fan Ping to survive. Feng Miexing, are you blaming Grandpa Mysterious Jade for not being strong enough and dragging you guys down? I don't dare to question a true king. Besides, Mysterious Jade True Monarch has already fallen. Both of them were very angry. Fan Ping, who was at the side, was muttering in his heart. What's with the nonsense? Let's fight. Both of them were idiots. It would be best if they fought. Feng Miexing was stupid. Ji Yao was not that smart either. Their identities were important. If one of them died, the cooperation between the 2 royal courts would be in big trouble. They were stupid, but someone seemed to be even more stupid. In the crowd, Li did not seem to care about their argument. When their anger reached its peak, Li suddenly laughed and said, "Ji Yao, the last time you went to the Imperial City, we still have a lot of places that we haven't visited. Why don't we find a time to visit again? After a few days, the Protector's holy fruit will ripen. Why don't we go and take a look together?" Ji Yao's expression was cold. This idiot! She still had the mood to talk about this at a time like this. Ji Yao cursed in her heart. Feng Miexing's expression was also unfriendly. Fan Ping, on the other hand, felt a chill in his heart. Good Lord, pretending to be stupid and deliberately making a joke to make these 2 people stop fighting? Fan Ping was not the only one who thought this way. In the crowd, the rank 9 martial artist behind Ji Yao also glanced at Li, thinking about something. They could not fight. With him here, it was impossible for both parties to fight. It would be troublesome if something happened to either of them. However, it was not easy to deal with 2 descendants of the true king arguing and getting angry. Now, with a single sentence from Li, both parties had forgotten about what happened before. He did not need to intervene anymore. Ji Yao did not care about Feng Miexing anymore. Her eyes were cold and stern as she said, "In a few days I really have to make a trip to Sky Plant City. When the holy fruit ripens, you 2 good-for-nothings won't have the chance to enjoy it, but I can still enjoy it. Also, Feng Miexing, if you dare to mention the marriage again, I will definitely kill you. A good-for-nothing like you is worthy of a marriage alliance with me? In the land of the King Wars, you surrounded Jianghao for many days, but you were beaten to the point of abandoning your armor. You are not even as good as Feng Qing. Feng Qing killed Jianghao in the land of the King Wars and forced him to flee. Today, you were beaten to the point of abandoning your armor. What a disgrace!" Ji Yao really looked down on Feng Miexing. A complete good-for-nothing. When Feng Qing was alive, although he did not manage to kill Jianghao, at least he chased Jianghao until he was on the run. Now, Feng Qing was dead. Feng Mieshing had taken over Feng Qing's power. In the end, the tables were turned. Jiang Hao was chasing after them. Feng Mieshing's expression was livid. How could it be the same? When Feng Qing was alive, Jiang Hao was only an early stage rank 7. After that, he was a middle stage rank 7. But now, upper stage rank 7. Once he completed honing a piece of skull, he would be a peak rank 7. Back then, Feng Qing was already an upper stage rank 7 martial artist. Now, he was considered not bad. With King Feng's support, he had entered middle stage rank 7, but he was still not as good as Jiang Hao. His ability was not as good as the other party. There was a gap of a level. How could he kill Jiang Hao? Feng Mieshing's expression was dark. Not just me, you guys are the same. Humph, don't compare me with you. Jiang Hao doesn't have the guts to kill me. Feng Mieshing sneered. If you were not with that rank 8 monster, let's see if Jiang Hao would dare to kill you. These two were all talk and no action. Fan Ping was getting impatient listening to them. However, he had to maintain a respectful attitude. This woman, Ji Yao, was not done with her questions. He had to continue waiting. However, 2 words flashed across Fan Ping's mind. Holy fruit. What holy fruit? Lord Guardian. Monster Plant Guardian of the Monster Plant Kingdom? Then it would at least be at true king level, right? The fruits borne by rank 9 monster plants were already heaven-defying. A true king monster plant was about to bear fruits. Could he get some? Judging from Ji Yao's tone, it was difficult. Even Feng Mieshing and the rest did not seem to have a chance, but Ji Yao could. Fan Ping made up his mind. If that was the case, he would rob Ji Yao. The fruits of a true king monster plant would definitely be heaven-defying. Then I have to go to the Imperial City, lest I miss the opportunity. I can't stay in the catacombs for long. What kind of stupid school is this? There's no point in going there. I have to go to Feng Mieshing's side or Li Yi's side and be a qualified lackey. Li Yi asked me to guard the door for him earlier. But it's troublesome. This guy should be living in the Imperial Palace, right? Then, wouldn't that old fox from the Monster Plant Kingdom run into him anytime? As for Feng Mieshing, the chances of running into a true king are not low either. They're not to be trifled with. Thoughts rose in Fan Ping's mind one by one. These 2 people's status was not low. It was easy for them to run into true king powerhouses. If this true king was really interested and suddenly probed him inch by inch, he would be in trouble. Very dangerous. Extremely dangerous. Of course, a true king might not be that free. In the eyes of a true king, a person who was not even a high rank was not even comparable to an ant. If a human saw an ant, they might not be interested in skinning it and breaking its bones to see if it was male or female. Nothing ventured, nothing gained. These 2 people's status is high, and they know a lot of secrets. In other places, even if I stayed in the catacombs for the rest of my life, I might not know anything. Only by following these 2 fellows can I find out more. Fan Ping calculated in his heart. He already had a plan. He would not go anywhere. He would just follow these 2 fellows. Feng Mieshing was an idiot. He might not know a lot. Li Yi, on the other hand, might know a lot of things by pretending to be dumb. However, if he interacted with this kind of person for a long time, it was easy to arouse suspicion. I'll decide after seeing the situation. When Fan Ping was done thinking, Ji Yao and the rest were done with their verbal attacks. Ji Yao did not care about Fan Ping anymore. A rank 6 nobody was not worthy of her attention. She had only asked some questions earlier. Ji Yao did not block the way anymore. Feng Mieshing did not speak anymore. Li Yi, on the other hand, was reluctant to leave. Before she left, she said, Ji Yao, remember to tell me in advance when you're coming to Sky Plant City. I'll go and pick you up. Humph! Ji Yao let out a cold humph. Li Yi did not care. She entered the palace, still looking at her reluctantly. Without Ji Yao's obstruction, the rest of the journey was smooth. The palace was extremely fast. Fang Ping sensed it. Its speed was probably close to half the speed of sound. In an instant, it had exceeded 1,000 li. This speed could not compare to the speed of a rank 8 or 9 powerhouse going all out. However, powerhouses would put a strain on their bodies when they were rushing. The advantage of the palace was that it did not put a strain on their bodies. They only needed to expend energy and mentality. 2 rank 8 powerhouses taking turns to control it could maintain the best condition. Fan Ping estimated that it was about 10 a.m. in the morning when he left Mount Royal Sea. It was not until 5 p.m. that they arrived at their destination. The journey was close to 7,000 li. The restricted area was huge, terrifyingly huge. The place where they were previously should be the border area of the 2 royal courts. Qingyang Royal City was also in the border area of the Monster Plant's royal court. They still had to travel 7,000 li. "We're here! Come down!" Following the shouts of the few chieftains, Fan Ping and the others in the palace walked out one after another. What came into view was an incomparably huge city. In the center of the city, there was not a building like the city lord's mansion. Instead, there was a huge square. At this moment, many people were resting in the square. Seeing that the palace had landed, dozens of high-ranked powerhouses came over using flight step, followed by a series of greetings. "Greetings, your highnesses!" Fan Ping did not care about these people. He looked around and roughly understood that this was the gathering point for people from the outer domain. Many middle-ranked martial artists looked over nervously. At a rough glance, there were probably no less than 1,000 people. At this moment, there were still high-ranked powerhouses dragging some people over here one after another. These people did not have the treatment of the palace. They were all directly using flight step to drag those middle-ranked martial artists. Fan Ping even saw that many of them were injured. Perhaps it was because they had used flight step for a long time, their speed was extremely fast, and these people did not receive any protection, so their flesh was broken. "Outer Domain 108. No, Outer Domain 107. Have people from the Monster Plant clan cities all come?" Fan Ping calculated. If every outer domain had 50 people like Magic City's catacombs, that would be more than 5,000 people. In the restricted area, middle-ranked martial artists were really worthless. Fan Ping was still thinking when Feng Meixing said lazily, "Make arrangements for the people from 7 Southern Territory. When everyone is here, let the major forces come and pick people." Having said that, he turned his head to look at Fan Ping and the others, shouting, "All of you wait here obediently. If you go out and get killed, you'll just be asking for trouble." After throwing these words, these people left quickly. In the square, very soon, a group of armored martial artists walked over. The leader was a rank 7 powerhouse. He was incomparably dignified, scolding, "Why are you standing there foolishly? Martial artists from all regions, go to your own place and stay. You're not allowed to wander around. Wait for the major forces to recruit people tomorrow." Fan Ping glanced at them and found a more serious problem. "I'm illiterate. I can't read. Damn it." This was a little troublesome. He did not know the words of the catacombs. He could speak them, but humans had not made much progress in studying words. Outer Domain 108 seemed to have their own arrangements. The places they were at were different. Right now, there were about a dozen places that were still empty. Where should he go? Although Fan Ping was panicking inside, he looked calm on the surface. There were 50 people. What was there to be afraid of? He did not know them, but did these guys not know them either? He would just follow them. But this problem needs to be taken seriously. "I can't read. I can't read some of the confidential documents I saw. I don't know the place either. What if I go the wrong way? This is troublesome." Fan Ping complained in his heart again. He had miscalculated. He did not think of this problem when he came. Fortunately, there was no written test. Otherwise, would he not be exposed immediately? "Does that Kui Ming guy know how to read? It would be great if he can't read." Fan Ping comforted himself. A rank 6 who could not read was just bullsh *t. He could only comfort himself. Please remember this book's original domain name. 9 Heavens Divine Emperor mobile version website. You're tuning in to the Phoenix Knights YouTube channel. Don't forget to subscribe and join us on this journey to catch the most captivating stories.